Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
And welcome to the Sports Cage. Again, we're Thursday, and our Thursday Sports Cage is brought to you by Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. I love that because the rural Saskatchewan is what we're going to be about. We are going to talk rural Saskatchewan high school football as we go along here. Obviously, we got Riders. Dave Thomas is going to be standing by. We have Arash Madani joining us in the first hour today. We're going to talk NFL. It gets buzzing tonight. Thursday night football, Kansas City, Baltimore. Who doesn't love a little Thursday night football? Tom Sargent, iconic football coach from the Saskatoon Hilltops. We're going to meet with him and find out about the matchup and what he has for thoughts going into the Regina Thunder game. Two undefeated teams this weekend here in Regina. We're going to talk high school ball with head coach of the Indian Head Broncos, Tim Klein. Brand new football field out there in Indian Head. Looking forward to chatting with that. Glenn Suter joins us in hour 3, and we're going camping in the WHL to Swift Current today. Ryan Schweitzer is going to join us. Let us know how the camp's going for the Broncos. You see Derek Bidwell there on the stream. If you're listening on 620 CKRM, you do not see him, but if you're watching on sportscage.com on the old video, you see Bidsy sharp tarp. Bidsy, you're out golfing. You're at the big Synergy 8 event in Saskatoon today. And okay, first off, how did it go? Adam Hadwin is up there. Are we going to hear from Adam Hadwin by chance?
Yes, we are going to hear from Adam Hadwin a little later on in the show. We did shoot a video with him and an interview that we're going to be airing. Of course, you'll be able to hear it, the audio version and the video version, a little bit later on in the show. So that will be coming through a little later. You know what? It's pretty good. I got him to really turn everything towards Saskatchewan. With almost every question, I got him to kind of tilt the answer or the theme towards Saskatchewan. He played along. He's a great guy, a smaller guy than you would think, which is a lot of people say that about me too. I don't know whether I come across bigger on television or I did when I was on television consistently, but he is a smaller guy, just smokes the ball though, just nukes it. Great guy. Look forward to hearing from him later on this edition of Sports Cage.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the Synergy 8 event that you're at in Saskatoon. Huge fundraiser, what they're raising funds for this year. They do a lot of great job up there in Saskatoon. Let's bring them in on the Western Pizza guest hotline, the voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Dave Thomas, you've probably been out to the Synergy 8 event up there in Saskatoon over your years up there, no?
Oh, yeah. A few golf balls along the way, trust me.
What was the biggest celebrity that you got a chance to meet when you were there? Maybe you were awestruck. I know they brought in Paige Spiranek or whatever a few times back in the day. Who else was it that they brought in? There was one year they were trying to hit balls across the river. I remember
John
that.
Daly.
Yes. Did you go to that? It was right across.
Graham Gillette actually did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's really cool. What was take us through, paint the picture on the John Daly one, Dave.
John Daly he came in and I thought that he was going to be this big, larger than life kind of person that wouldn't resonate with people, but he was real kind. I had a great time just in the few moments that we had to spend together. Then they did the whole thing, well, can he drive it across the river? So they set up one thing on the north side of the South Saskatchewan River, giving him an opportunity to try to fire it off the platform. It didn't go. But, man, can he absolutely crank it. And John Daly is what you'd expect. He likes to have a good time. You know, you can just see that in his golf game, and he had a good time.
Was he hitting him from the west side of the river where I'm from?
Yes. Well, the north side in downtown, right? Because it winds through a little bit. But you don't need a geography lesson from me. But when it comes to Graham Gillette, now that guy's a hack. I'll tell you. I grew up with him on the Weyburn Golf Course, and he's a few years younger than I am. And what he would do in his summer days is he would spend it with his time at the golf course. Dad Norm would drop him off at the course, and he'd just do his thing throughout the day, and he'd kind of grab rounds with whoever was going through. And I remember a couple of times there would be us, and of course, by the way, Graham's a heck of a hockey player, like probably a better hockey player than golfer. But anyways, he would be there, and he'd be so mad at us for stopping and spending time for looking for our ball. He's like, just hit it on the fairway, guys. You'll be all right. So, yeah.
I remember the year they brought in John Daly. And so now that makes sense. They wanted him to hit across the river. And I said to Rob Lazinski, maybe Troy Davies, definitely Adam Watt, because Watty and I used to run up there, all part of the Synergy 8 group. And I said, you know what we should do? We should go try and find one of the old John Daly killer whales, like the first bigger headed golf club, like from, was that the late 80s? And then while he's smashing them, surprise him with, okay, now how does this one fly? Go back to the old days and hit one of these. I don't think that would be that easy to track one down, but yeah, really great event up there. They do some awesome things. I'm sure the buzz on the Riders up there is real bidsy as well. People are wondering what's up with the Riders. You know, we haven't won in a bit here. What's the team? Dave, give us the latest 4-1-1. I know it was closed off today. I see they did sign an offensive lineman that just came across here about 10 minutes ago.
That's giant news. Literally, this man is huge. Tarek Stewart spent some time with the New England Patriots. He was in camp with the Edmonton Elks at the start of the season, and he actually played in the preseason game that the Elks had with the Riders. And he is gigantic, 6'5", 300 pounds, if my memory serves correct. And just the guy is a physical beast, and how he was able to move people and bodies around. And again, he was kind of in tough for trying to get in and stick with Chris Jones and his offensive scheme and what they were planning to do with some of the returning offensive linemen that they had. But boy, this man is a big man, and it's going to be interesting because that may indicate that some of the players that we were hopeful might be back after the bye week aren't coming along as much as we had anticipated, or maybe it's just an opportunity to get some more depth, because again, let's face it, nobody plans for 12 offensive linemen in a season.
Yeah, no doubt. Bidsy, to you, you're patrolling the sidelines at all home games. I bet when you signed up for that gig earlier this year, you didn't think you'd be giving so many injury reports, having to try and figure out what's the latest, because Dave and Luke are down there saying, Bidsy, do you got anything for us? And it's like, do you just set up camp right by the injury table or tent?
I'm a lurker. I'm turned into a professional lurker. I'm just
old school
always
Bidsy.
right around there. Yeah. And I try to go over to the injury update tent, if you will, that they flip over the trainer's table. I'm not in there peeking through or anything like that, but just so I can see them when they first come up, because they have conversations and they make gestures, like they'll point to their elbow and they'll be like, I can't straighten it, or they'll. With Peter Godber, I kept saying to Dave up in the booth, like he had his shoe off. He was trying to rotate his ankle. And as he was rotating his ankle, he was wincing in pain. So I could tell that it was, likely his ankle. I wasn't going to say for sure it was, though. But, yeah. And then you see more obvious guys like Zach Fry. He's got his arm in a sling. That one's easy to figure out. But, yeah, it seems like if you just hang around the offensive lineman, unfortunately, this year, you're going to get some injury update material as a sideline reporter to pass off and up to Dave and Luke, unfortunately.
So they just released it. I just got it come through my email here. Here it is, everybody out there in Sportscage land. The injury report for this weekend in Winnipeg. Jaden Dalkey, healthy scratch. He's available. Godber, out. Jackson Ford, available. Zach Fry, out. Amari Henderson, available. Bruno LaBelle, available. Dante Myers, out. Kean Schaefer-Baker, available. Malik Straker, out. That's a hip. I don't like those hip ones. Nick Weeb, available. Any surprises there, Dave?
I wasn't sure if you were reading the injury report or one of those dating websites with so many guys available all of a sudden, but saying that, no real surprise.
The old Weyburn one. Classifieds. Weyburn. What was the paper called in Weyburn?
The Weyburn Review Classifieds. Remember, you look for a date in the classifieds in the personal section.
Box number.
I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I love the fact that you guys know about this. And I'm not just saying that. I didn't know that there was classified dating.
Wasn't there like 1-800 dial a date or something too back in the day?
If you're watching us on sportscage.com on the YouTube channel, that was a big belly laugh from Dave. That could be one of the biggest ones so far.
It was good.
Like I think after yesterday, after we talked, the Dante Myers isn't surprising, but it's kind of been surprising all week.
No, and nobody really saw him go down with the injury because for what I could recall, he was trying to play through it. Now, again, I haven't gone through the tape and gone play-by-play just yet as far as what participation level he had, but he did drop off a little bit in his production in that second half, which would lend itself to believing that was what the injury caused. So that's a surprise, and that's a tough one for a young guy that, again, hurt his hand right at the end of training camp and then couldn't break onto the roster for a number of weeks while he was on the 6-game list. Comes in, again, does everything right, racking up the 100-yard games, and then this happens, which is really tough for him and the team with the amount of work that he's been putting in.
I know. Who do we have audio from today at camp?
We've got linebacker Nick Weeb, as Nick and actually Jackson Ford are both going to come into the lineup this week, which is real solid. And the two of them have kind of been tied at the hip, literally, because Dan Farthing puts them through their paces at each and every practice. And one of the drills they consistently do is they tie a belt around their waist, and then they're pulling a sled that's weighted up and down the sidelines just to go ahead and get their burst. And so they take turns attaching themselves to the sled, for lack of a better term. And they developed some good rapport, but obviously we're very excited to see what Nick Weeb can bring to this team, as he was a draft pick, of course, coming off an ACL injury from the University of Saskatchewan. So we had an opportunity, of course, to watch him and really develop his game at the U of S. And now he's got an opportunity to translate that to the pros. Well, Jackson Ford, who can remember, who can forget a year ago, right? When he comes down with that block on the 2-point convert on Labor Day to give the Riders the overtime win. So he has been chomping at the bit to get back in. Of course, he injured himself in the offseason training. So he's fully recovered. He's going to get an opportunity to get back. And I know both of them are, and both of them have an opportunity to really influence the ratio as they come into the lineup here on Saturday.
That's huge. Bidsy. Both those guys in the lineup. We talked to Nick Weeb earlier, like training camp, right before training camp, after the draft. He was so jacked. Like, you could just feel how pumped he was.
The energy level with Nick Weeb is off the charts. You're right, Shink. And it was a real special moment, actually. The Riders were super classy and creative and just on it, I guess you could say, at the Huskies fundraising breakfast, which is called the Dogs Breakfast. And so Nick was up there on the stage with the U of S Huskies because they weren't sure where exactly he was going to land or what the plan was going to be. And then Nick was super fired up when they called him onto the stage. They gave him his number with the Riders, the one he had with the Huskies, and presented him with the jersey. And he just gave Corey Mason a big hug, and it was like a bear hug between those two guys, and a really cool moment. You could sense the excitement that Nick Weeb had then to be a part of this team and get on the field. So when he's finally able to look for, if anything, they're going to have to dial him back a little bit and say, whoa, you're going to get a penalty, you're going to jump offside, whatever it's going to be. But he is going to be all types of energy when Nick Weeb finally gets to get on the field and represent the Riders.
Not to state the obvious, Dave, but sometimes we see this when a guy in any sport comes off a long-term injury thing, and it's later in the year. It's kind of, for lack of a better term, garbage time, right? But he's going right into it where we're almost in must-win games. So his energy level will be needed.
Absolutely. And I think the one thing that's going to be very interesting for me to watch is, again, I had the privilege of watching Nick play and develop at the University of Saskatchewan. And the one thing that Nick did is that he forced his opposition to game plan for him wherever he was on the field. He was one heck of a defensive linebacker, that's for sure. But on the other side, he in his final year said, Coach, I've got to play special teams. I need to learn how to play special teams if I want to make the step from here to the professional ranks. So let me play special teams. Teach me everything you know. And he was such a student that teams were game planning for him when he was playing defense, but also game planning for where he might be when he was covering kicks, when he was playing the punt return. So again, he got in on all those facets and learned so much. And unfortunately, the cruel twist of fate was that it was a kick cover that he injured his ACL on right in the final game of the year that the Huskies would play last year against the University of Alberta in the playoffs.
Yeah. Speaking of kickers, you had a chance to talk to Brett Lauther at all this week?
No, I haven't. I saw him, but I gave him the wave, and that was about it. Joe Couch, we've talked a few times this week. He's been pretty excited about getting an opportunity to get back and kicking, as he's been nursing a bit of a leg injury for most of the year. But no, should I have run into Brett? Like, has he got some news?
No, I was just, it seemed 2 weeks ago, man, like that poor guy was just every place he turned and looked, and it was, Lauther, we need another kicker. And then now everyone's like, yeah, okay, he's back. We put him in a position to try and boot one from here halfway to Vibank. It's kind of tough.
I was just going to say, we just need another 8 more yards out of him, but that was a little bit of a difficult kick, though. Absolutely, I'll give him that.
Needed that. Wasn't it Fred Flintstone in the Flintstones that could just boot it? Crazy long. Anything coming out of Winnipeg that you've heard, Dave? That maybe on Big Hill? Anything there?
I haven't heard any updates on Big Hill. We do expect Stanley Bryant, though. He'll be coming back, of course, the outstanding left tackle for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, arguably the best offensive lineman in the league. However, I'm sure Jamarcus Hardrick, who played across the right tackle spot for him for a number of years, might have something to say about that. But Stanley Bryant sounds like he'll be back into the lineup, which is good after that real scary incident a couple of weeks ago where he had to be helped off the field. And of course, it was really tense on the field. So Stanley Bryant, again, he is a game changer, and it sounds like he'll be back at the left tackle spot. Adam Big Hill, I don't anticipate being back. Zach Collaros, once again, is taking reps with the first team offense, so very likely we'll see Zach Collaros start. Aside from that, doesn't seem like there's going to be much in the way of changes from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this weekend.
Did you see that on our boys at 3 Down Nation had Austin Mack for the Alouettes placed on the 6-game injured list?
That's incredible. Like, yeah, I heard the news just came down. So, yeah, that's something else, right? And there's a big investment there by the Montreal Alouettes. And, again, I really like the Montreal Alouettes' depth at receiver. And if Tyson Philpott is back and healthy, that's a big deal for them. But Austin Mack was kind of a bonus to what they already had, a spoil of riches, if you will. But if he's on the 6th game, that's going to be a bit of a blow because he was one of those guys that just elevated their receiving core that much more.
All right. Dave's got a good piece, too. If you want to go check it out at the sportscage.com, you can go there, watch us on the stream, and then you can do some reading as well on just Godburn Fry, likely out for the Banjo Bowl, like we said. Now it looks like they are, as the Riders just released that. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this, Dave. Tonight, Ravens, Chiefs. I know I'm going to go through some bets when I get a rash here in about 20 minutes. Not a rash. When I get a rash here, Madani. That sounded weird.
You'll get a rash tomorrow, depending on the bets.
I bet so much. Okay. What do you think tonight, Dave?
I don't want to go against Kansas City, and plus I've got Patrick Mahomes in my fantasy world, so I need Patrick, and I'm just hoping that Taylor's going to be there, really, because then my wife will stay watching it with me for a little bit, right?
That's
quality
the only
couple
reason.
Time.
Yeah, my 13-year-old daughter. That's all that everything hinges on now. If Taylor's going to be shown on the TV. All right. Well, yeah, you're a Chiefs guy. You got Mahomes in your fantasy, so. I don't know. I just I need Baltimore. I want Baltimore.
It pains me to say that I want the Chiefs to win. Just for all selfish purposes, when it comes to my fantasy, I need Patrick Mahomes to do well.
Who's your NFL team? Cowboys?
I'm going to Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I didn't know we had one that infiltrated the team. I didn't know. Oh, boy.
Poor Sap over there.
Don't you think I feel sorry for myself enough already? There's nothing that you can say that's going to make me feel any worse about the situation. Thanks, guys.
That's right.
Hey,
that's right. That's okay.
I feel it because they talk about Dak Prescott maybe signing with the Patriots after the Cowboys, and I'm like, no, we don't want that baggage. No. Keep him over there.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott worked out quite well for you.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, let's regroup tomorrow. Maybe catch you from the hotel in Winnipeg. Stay safe in Winnipeg, man. Keep your head on a swivel.
Oh, for sure I will. Absolutely. And hopefully we get some more availability reports so we'll be able to have a good idea of what's going on.
Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, joining us if you're watching on sportscage.com or on the old radio 620 CKRM, the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op. From locally grown fresh produce, condiments, and Western Canadian beef, your barbecue tastes better when you shop at Sherwood Co-op food stores.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
We'll look back at some of the big shakers and movers of the country music scene. Some cats reinvented themselves. Others, they did what works for them the best. We'll feature the top 25 on your Country Music Rewind.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits. 620 CKRM.
Barrels of fresh produce grown locally.
Mustards and condiments made locally.
And Western Canadian beef, aged 14 days.
Your barbecue tastes better when you shop at Sherwood Co-op food stores, offering more local products than any other grocery store.
While stocking the national brands you love.
Plus, member benefits let you share in the equity.
Get your barbecue meat cut in-house, your way.
I like my way.
Get more local flavor for your barbecue.
At Sherwood Co-op food stores, your truly local grocery store.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Take a short drive to save big at Watrous Mainline GM. Watrous Mainline GM has an amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles in stock, and they're ready to make you a deal. And don't forget, Watrous Mainline GM wants your trade. They'll pay top dollar for your vehicle, any make, any model. Get out of the city and take a drive to where the deals are. Get your new ride at Watrous Mainline GM, your GM superstore since 1962.
At Kubota, we want you to get the job done faster and have fun. Quicker work, longer play in the RTV XG utility vehicle. This fall, get financing as low as 0% for 12 months. See your Kubota dealer for details.
The all-new Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. The all-new Sports Cage. Shink and Bidsy here. Bidsy's up in Saskatoon at the Synergy 8 event. If you're joining us on sportscage.com through the YouTube channel and watching us there, or on 620 CKRM, the show is brought to you by Access Communications today, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. All right, Bidsy, it's time to drop our keyword for today for the Engelheim Charters Ultimate Football Road Trip. We're giving that away at 5:30 on Friday. It's a trip for two to Minnesota to watch the Vikings and Texans Sunday, September 22nd. And if you just want to find out more, if you want to get in on it, you can go to engelheimtours.ca and find it there. So the keyword today is Houston. as in the Houston Texans.
Right.
Houston, the city, that is your keyword, 936-6262. Remember, if you're playing along and you want to go on this trip, you need a passport because you're crossing an international border into the United States. Again, it's for September 22nd. You ever been to that stadium down in Minnie?
I have not, but my brother-in-law, who actually lives in Wisconsin, born and raised in Wisconsin, I think maybe he just wants to be an agitator.
What part of Wisconsin?
The Vikings. Loves the Vikings. Appleton. It's about 45 minutes from Green Bay. And he loves the Vikings. All the neighbors all around them, my sister's place, whenever they open up their garage doors, Green Bay Packers flags, Green Bay Packers, everything. He's got Minnesota Viking stuff and a Saskatchewan Roughriders flag in their garage, which I gave him. But he likes to stir the pot. He's a Vikings fan. And that stadium, he's gone to the old one. He hasn't been to the new one. The old one is loud. And he said it was pretty cool, but the new one is supposed to be off the charts nice. Yeah.
He would be
loud too.
Yeah, that would be stirring the pot because there's probably people out there listening that have been to a game in Green Bay. It is one of the coolest experiences
in Green Bay.
If you are a football fan, you have to at some point make your way, if you can, to a game in Green Bay. When you drive into that city, how do I equate it after driving in? Is like you're driving into Moose Jaw, right? Because there's really no high rises, there's no tall buildings, and then all you see is the field in the distance, like Lambeau Field in the distance. And then you get there, and it's very small, very friendly town. The taverns absolutely hum a night before the game.
Yeah.
And it's just something you're walking, and people talk about it, right? Like it's there's houses right by, and you're walking. I remember walking
across the street
from the Uber or the taxi, and it's like 1970s bungalows, just like you're walking through uplands in Regina here, and all of a sudden you turn around the corner and there's this massive football stadium.
So there's some cool stories here. I'll just touch on one of them right here because I don't want to take up too much time with this. But I've done the tour a couple times. I haven't had a chance to watch a game yet at Lambeau Field, but if you get a chance to go there, sports fans, I mean, even if you're not a Packers fan, it's super cool. Just go on the tour. Anyway, they explain a bunch of stuff on the tour. First off, those houses across the street, they were all being bought up by corporations, so they had to grandfather a rule in that had to be your residence because companies were buying them and just using them as party shacks before the games for tailgating. And they thought, that's not fair. That's not what we want. We wanted people actually living there. So that's one thing. The other thing is super cool is, I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a bit of a season ticket wait for Green Bay Packers season tickets. So when it got to 35 years, they just cut it off because people were putting their kids on the Packers season ticket waiting list when they were born. They would get a call when they were around 35, 36, 37 saying you're up. But now the list is so long, people are just passing them on, like to their kids and then to their grandkids they go to. And so, that goes to show you the support for an NFL team in an 87,000 seat stadium in a city that is about 150,000 total.
And the other thing too, 106,000 in 2022 is a census for Green Bay. They used to play so many other games, like was it half of them in Milwaukee up until like not a super long time ago, and I was like, really, that's cool. But it's a great event. But we're talking Minnesota. Get to that if you want to get to that stadium. 936-6262. The keyword is Houston to get in on the Engelheim Ultimate Football Road Trip, September 22nd. It is the Vikings and the Texans. We're going to bring in Arash Madani. It's NFL football day tonight, Thursday night football, the Chiefs and the Ravens. Let's talk to Arash about NFL football coming up after this. You're listening to the all-new Sportscage, and you're watching it on sportscage.com.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At Barassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1 year parts and labor warranty on installed CNH parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at E. Barassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. E. Barassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
Hey Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week it's a trip to Nashville and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
Freeze Tallman dares you to dream of breathtaking landscaping. Freeze Tallman Lumber has your landscaping dreams covered with a huge selection of patio blocks, paving stones, rubber paving products, and more. Plus, Freeze Tallman offers a safe and reliable delivery service right to your backyard, cottage, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Check them out online at freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
With over 380 conveniently located cardlock locations, Co-op offers the largest cardlock network in Western Canada. Count on us to keep you fueled 24/7, right from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, through to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and all points in between.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Welcome back. All new Sports Cage for Access Communications. Barney Schenkerick, Derek Bidwell with you on this Thursday. Thursday night football is here. It feels like it's been so long. We're going to get to Arash Madani in a moment to talk about that. Still to come, in hour 2 of the program today, Bidge, we're going to have Tom Sargent live with you in Saskatoon. Interview Sarge, the Hilltops, and Thunder going at it this weekend here in Regina. That's always a classic. I'm going to be talking some high school football in hour 2 as well. Let's get going with the NFL football chat.
The all-new Sports Cage and Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
All right, Arash. It's one of the most depressing times for a lot of people, a lot of guys I know, is that late January-ish, February, when you know that it's coming to an end. Those Sundays of just being able to, go get your tickets if you're doing the paper Sports Select, which I absolutely love still. Shout out Sask Lotteries, main fundraiser for 12,000 Sport Culture and Recreations. But then it's like, well, what am I going to do with my Sundays for the next, however many months and Thursday nights?
I'm going to have to put pants on and leave the house.
Yeah. I'm going to get to know this lady that lives upstairs. But no, Arash, it's back. NFL football. Are you excited as everyone else?
Yeah, and it's amazing that now it's not just Sunday. It's not just Monday. It's not just Thursday. Now they're giving us Friday. Over the holidays, there's going to be a Tuesday and a Saturday. Christmas Day used to be owned by the NBA. Now the NFL's taken that over too. They are a behemoth. They're a juggernaut. They're unbelievable.
They're a bully.
Yeah, that too. I mean, back in the day, they kind of respected. They gave respect to some leagues. The World Series, for instance, Sunday nights they'd leave it alone. Not anymore. They don't need to. They run the biggest show in. They run the biggest show in show business.
It absolutely. I've always said it's the biggest TV show out there. I almost feel like sometimes, or maybe it's changing, where the little brother was NCAA football, and it'd be like, well, okay, we'll give them their Friday nights, we'll give them some of this, but it's like they almost want to make it known we still control things. We can still put a game wherever. If Oprah was still on, they might go head to head with Oprah. The NFL will just flex. And like you said, they've taken over Christmas Day from the NBA. Like the NBA must feel like absolute pigeons to be like, we used to own this day and now the NFL
the
came
The World Series used to be it. Like if you go back a generation. Here's the other thing: the U.S. election's coming up in November, and somebody asked the league and some of the networks, "Are you worried that viewership of football is going to go down because people are going to be caught up in the election?" And the answer was basically, no. No, we are not. We are not concerned, worried one bit. Yeah.
Okay. Tonight, I got it open here. If anyone wants to chime in, they can. 936-6262. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens money line. And I know everybody that I am talking to is saying Kansas City. Take us through. I don't, again, not the stat nerd guy. I don't know like every offensive lineman there and his mom's name and everything like that. But take us through this game and this matchup, and how do you see this one tonight, Arash?
Okay, so let me tell you the reasons why you may be right, and I'll tell you some of the reasons you may be wrong. How about that?
Okay.
This is why Barney's going to cash his bet tonight, is because the Kansas City secondary has taken a major hit this offseason. L'Jarius Sneed, who is really responsible for KC winning the AFC title game in Baltimore in January, is now a member of the Tennessee Titans. He's not the only DB who is no longer in Kansas City from last year's championship team. We know what Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, can do. He can sling the football. Baltimore's got a high-powered offensive attack. KC has routinely struggled in opening day games when they're defending their championship. They lost last year against Detroit on opening night. And yeah, that makes sense for why you would do that. Except Baltimore's defensive coordinator is gone, and basically the entire Ravens defensive coaching staff has been replaced. Not just Mike McDonald going to become the head coach in Seattle, but a number of the staff have left with him and gone elsewhere. They just lost a real big part of the nucleus of their linebacking core, with Patrick Queen now in Pittsburgh, a division rival. And usually it takes a little while for a defense to mesh and get to know what a new system is all about. So you try and get Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and all those weapons going up against a defense in flux. Are we really taking Baltimore tonight, Barney? So there you go.
I placed the wager.
I'm taking both sides. How about that?
There's no going back, unfortunately, Arash. I don't think.
I swear I placed the wager before you got into the Kansas City rebuttal. So right. I'm pot committed there now. Let's look at give me a good prop bet this evening to play, Arash.
There's a good one.
I usually like playing touchdown scorers, not first. Usually an anytime touchdown scorer. So sometimes I played
Chelsea catch prop number.
Okay, how about
well, what's the money line? Where's the also? What are the odds? Like, I don't know, that shouldn't that factor in a little bit? You know, like about who has some great odds where you can make some good bucks.
Well, that's already
playing it safe.
That's already paid. That's already in. I'm already there. Pot committed there. I don't know who on Baltimore. Give me their tight. What's their tight end's name? Andrews.
Mark Andrews. Yeah.
That I'm gonna.
Best.
How about that for a prop? For a 1 touchdown prop?
Yeah, I can see that. Here's what I like there. I like Lamar over passing yards.
Okay.
I like Kelce under catches, because I think what ends up happening here is you have Roquan Smith and the Baltimore defense keying in on 87. If you think back to the AFC Championship game, 15-87 was it. And we thought, okay, does Isaiah Pacheco become the X factor? How's this all going to go? I think tonight they try and take 87 out of the ball game, which opens up a lot of things for Kansas City on the offensive side of the ball. So I like Lamar because KC's secondary is depleted, and then if you can take 87 out of the game, the Ravens have a chance to win.
Okay, before Bidsy, you got the next question here, but just letting you know.
Sure.
Travis Kelce, total receiving yards. This is live. This is live action here. I got 45, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Should
what
I
about
go
catches? Are there catches or their
No,
number of
it's just giving
receptions?
me yards. Just giving me total receiving yards.
So it's 45.
50, 60, or 70.
Yeah, I take the under 60. The one thing about Kelce is he hasn't been much of a yak guy over the last couple of years. He's the guy who's going to catch it over the middle. He's going to move the chains, but he's not going to extend plays afterwards. So, I mean, I know you're going to get a great number at 40, but I mean, that can only be 3 catches. And you're not going to get much value at 70. So
Bought and paid for. Bidsy, go ahead.
There you go. All right. Okay, so let's talk about the quarterbacks. We often do, of course, when we talk about football matchups. I get that. But we're talking about 2 of the most exciting quarterbacks in the National Football League in a long time. Lamar's locked up again. He's happy in Baltimore. Patrick Mahomes is coming off winning another Super Bowl. Let's talk about this season, Arash. What do you think is the year for both of these quarterbacks? Maybe start off with Patrick and coming off that Super Bowl win.
Well, here's the thing about Mahomes that's interesting, guys. Like, obviously, Brady has 7, and Brady's the GOAT, and there's a special shelf for Tom. But
Barney's
Tom
not going to
never
argue that, being a Patriots fan.
The one thing that Tom never did is that Tom never won 3 in a row. And you think about why the band remains together, why and how. You don't hear much negativity out of KC. You don't hear about guys holding out. You don't hear about guys wanting theirs. It's a very harmonious environment. But Andy Reid's back. Kelsey's back. Mahomes is back. I think that these 3 have such a hunger and a thirst to put themselves in the kind of football stratosphere that nobody has ever really achieved, and to put themselves ahead of Tom, right? Like, for the longest time with Brady, first he was chasing Montana, and then he was chasing Michael Jordan when it came to rings.
Yeah.
Now for Mahomes, it's like, wait a minute. I've won 2 in a row. I have a third. If I win 3 in a row, I'm within striking distance of Brady, and I've already done something that he hasn't done. So this is a defining season for Reid, for Mahomes, for Kelsey, and for the KC band.
Okay, let's move on to other NFL. Or you know what? Let's go here. Let's have our crazy hot take of the year. So you can just, if it's to appease Dave Thomas, you think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. That's just crazy, but you can take that. Colson, you can even chime in here if you want as well. Here's my hot. This is what I feel. Speaking of the chase with Brady, and it's amazing if he wins 3 in a row, he needs to play a long time to get where Brady is. Here's my take. Not that I wish injury on anyone. I think this is the year Patrick Mahomes doesn't finish the season.
Ooh.
It's bound to happen.
He's got himself a rookie left tackle at a BYU. There may not be a player in the entire NFL who's got more pressure on him than that kid. You got to keep the franchise upright, and that's not an easy task.
Nope.
In a division that's got Max Crosby, in a division that's got Joey Bosa, and so.
It's just a rash. I feel he takes off and he runs or something. And the Achilles, knock on wood for everybody out there. And I was paranoid about that. Like, Achilles pop like crazy now. He hits the wrong edge on the turf. Somebody rolls on. you're playing with fire when you play that many snaps. And I'm as my wife's the data freak. I'm just going to play the odds and the data. So that's my hot take. Bidsy, you get yours ready. Colson,
you are just you're just jinxing poor Patrick like crazy.
I don't know him.
You're putting it
I don't.
out
That's
into the
okay. I don't
universe.
know him. I don't know him, and I feel his wife's annoying, so that's fine. Colson, to you.
I'm still shocked from that, so I don't know where to go with this.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in the NFL? Something crazy this year. Someone going to make the Super Bowl. Someone going to win
Colson,
the Super Bowl.
I'll give Colson a breather. Here's my take.
Okay.
And I say this with so much vomit in my mouth as I say it, because as you guys know, I'm a Vikings guy, and among the disdain for human beings on earth that I have, I'm not sure who's one and who's two. It depends on the day between Rodgers and Favre and Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like basically for the last 30 years, these two donkeys have just destroyed my like football enjoyment. Here's my take. It's not just that the New York Jets are going to the Super Bowl. It's that before midseason, the Jets trade because the Raiders are going to be awful. The Jets will trade a 1, maybe a 2 and a 3, but they will trade for Devontae Adams. And the Batman and Robin, the Bert and Ernie, the Pete and Carrots of 12 to 15 is going to get reunited again. And like all those nightmares that everybody in the NFC North had to deal with all those years with those two together, the AFC East, the AFC will deal with, and it's going to be Rodgers and Adams going to the Super Bowl. And
wow, okay, I don't mind that. You think they'd have to give up a 1 and a 2? They're getting old.
No, a 1, or a 2 and a 3.
A 2 and a 3. Okay.
Now,
do you have yours?
Here's the final brushstroke to it. The Raiders with that 1, because it'll probably be the number 1 overall pick if my hot take is right. The Jets.
They get Dion's boy.
Shador. Shador Sanders ends up with the silver and black. He'll go from black and gold in Colorado to silver and black with Vegas.
Okay, Colson.
There's my hot take.
That's good. I like it. Colson, to you. Something crazy.
All right. I'm going to go a little left field here. The tush push gets banned. Saquon and Jalen are just too good. People get fed up with it. Gets banned.
Good job, Colson. I don't mind that. That's
thinking out of the box. Thinking out of the box. Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm jinxing, guys. Arash is calling crazy trades. You're changing rules now. Bidsy, to you. You got to live up. What's the plan?
I'll tell you a couple things that I'm just excited to see.
Oh, you're going
I'm
two.
Excited to see Jim. Okay, I'm excited to see Jim Harbaugh and the LA Chargers, what he's going to do there with Justin Herbert. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do. I was a Chargers fan when they were with San Diego because I love anything to do with San Diego. When they moved to LA, I kind of fell off a little bit. And I don't know. I wouldn't mind jumping back on again, being a Chargers fan, so I can wear the gear all over again. And the other one is I really am excited to see what's going to happen with the Dallas Cowboys. And the reason I say that is because now we got another one. I didn't know we had another Cowboys fan in the group with Dave Thomas. I love giving it to Cowboys fans when they're unsuccessful. I think they're going to have another bad year this year. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm also looking forward to good things with Harbaugh and Herbert and see what those two guys can do.
What's the hot take?
Here's
What's
one
the
more
crazy
hot take.
take?
Hold on, Barney. Here's one more hot take for you. Jets win the Super Bowl 1 year from today on Thursday night. We're having this conversation, the four of us. Bill Belichick and the Dallas Cowboys come into MetLife Stadium to face Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Bill's the head coach in Dallas a year from now. How about that one?
We are getting crazy. I feel like we've been drilling back. What was it? $8 cases of Lucky beer. Is that what he said?
Yeah. Don't forget the 99 cents.
$8.99. Okay, Bidsy's got to work on his takes. as well, but we'll work on those.
It wasn't very hot. Yeah, it wasn't very controversial.
No, you weren't. You didn't really even give us one. Okay, we're going to be talking high school football here in a bit, Arash. High school football in Saskatchewan is crazy. 6-man, 9-man, 6 aside, 9 aside, 12 aside. What was it like out in the Maritimes where you grew up? Paint a picture for us.
High school football in Nova Scotia is actually a pretty big deal because university football in Nova Scotia and out east is a pretty big deal. I'm from a town of 12,000 people, Truro, Nova Scotia. Back in the day, I don't know what they do now. Back in the day, they'd play on Sundays at 2 o'clock or something like that, up against the NFL. And they'd still put 1,500 people in the seats. The high school band would show up. They'd play. It was a fun time. It was a really fun time. Sundays. And there was a rivalry with the high school that doesn't exist anymore called QEH, Queen Elizabeth High School. And we hated those SOBs. And then we went and won the provincial championship in grade 12. So
there you go.
Just letting you know that more years than I care to admit later, I still remember that.
Were you playing?
No.
Oh. No. So I was going to say, I want you to wear the jacket next week.
No.
Provincial championship jacket.
Oh, yeah. Love to see if you can get into it.
Okay.
Get her up. Just get her in there.
I'll be looking forward to your text tonight while you're heckling me on my bets as per usual. And let's catch up again next week. Oh, we don't. How much time do we have? Oh, we got 40 seconds. Quickly, you're in Lloydminster tonight.
I am. Tonight we're having the Evening of Champions. I'm with Bruce Boudreau, Craig McTavish, Scotty Hartnell, who's actually from Lloydminster. It's the biggest fundraising event for the Junior A hockey team. They play in the AJHL. And today, fellas, I had 1 foot in the province of Alberta and 1 foot in the province of Saskatchewan. I've only done that once in my life. That was in Lake Tahoe. 1 foot in Utah, 1 foot in Nevada.
Did you feel whole or did you feel divided?
I felt like I was an Oiler fan and a Rider fan all at once.
Awesome. Okay. Have fun there. Stay safe. Lloyd's a fun town, but you got to stay safe, and we'll catch up again next week. Yeah, head on a swivel, as always. That's Arash Madani. It's always brought to you by Brian Golly. Next hour coming up, we're talking high school football. We're talking junior football with the head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops. It's the all-new Sportscage live on sportscage.com and on 620 CKRM.
Hey, Rider Nation, this is Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Listen to this. How does a 50-50 payday sound? Sounds like a win to me. Huddle up to riders5050.ca, and you can purchase 50-50 tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can even score quickly with the early bird prize. This week, it's a trip to Nashville, and you'll be in for the massive weekly jackpots. Buy now at riders5050.ca and support amateur football in Saskatchewan. Sponsored by ISC. License LR 2426.
When you have a big job on the go, always head to Prairieland Rental for everything from skid steers to excavators to jackhammers. You'll get everything done with equipment just from Prairieland. You won't need to go anywhere else. And at Prairieland, you deal directly with the owner. They're very local and very Sask. They appreciate your local business and they've got everything you need for your projects. They'll even deliver. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street. PrairielandRental.com.
In town, at the cabin, or on the farm, only one rural internet provider brings you a whole home solution. Access Rural Internet now offers download and upload speeds up to 350 megs for one low price. Plus, keep entertained with Access Next TV Stream and keep an eye on your home and property with Access Rural Security, each for just $14.95 a month extra. Get more from your rural internet service. Visit myaccess.ca today.
The largest selection of pre-owned trucks and SUVs is at Capital GMC. The GM Certified Truck Sale is on right now. Over 170 pre-owned trucks and SUVs, GMC, Chevys, Fords, Rams, Toyotas, gas and diesel, available at the lowest prices. And all GM Certified vehicles come with roadside assistance and a 150-plus point inspection. The massive GM Certified Truck and SUV sale at Capital GMC on the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina. CapitalGMC.ca.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's partly cloudy and 21 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op Liquor Store. Now open in Harbor Landing and on Rochdale Boulevard, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. Harvest remains ahead of schedule in Saskatchewan. 42% of the provincial crop has been combined, way ahead of the 5- and 10-year averages. Megan Rosso with the Ministry of Agriculture says the harvest of winter cereals and pulse crops are almost done.
Winter cereals are nearing completion with 94% of fall rye and 93% of winter wheat harvested. Pulse crops have also substantially increased in harvest completion with 92% of lentils and 90% of field peas harvested.
Over half of the durum, barley, and mustard have been taken off the field, while canola and canary seed are below 20% harvested. Tony Plater, the CEO of the Regina and District Chamber of Commerce, has announced his resignation effective November 30th. Plater, who became interim CEO in January of 2022 and permanent CEO in July of 2022, has been a pivotal figure in the Chamber's growth. His leadership strengthened the Chamber's role in advocating for local businesses and driving economic development in Regina. The Chamber's Board of Directors praised Plater's dedication and vision, thanking him for his service. A search for his replacement will begin soon. Moose Jaw Police executed a search warrant today at a residence in the city's northwest. The Community Policing Division, Canine Unit, and Criminal Investigation Section were involved in the operation. Officers discovered stolen bicycles, e-bikes, crystal meth, and unstamped cigarettes during the search. A 34-year-old man was arrested and is facing multiple charges, including 7 counts of possession of stolen property, 1 count of possession of crystal meth, and a Tobacco Tax Act violation. His first court appearance is pending. And actor Michael Keaton wants to change his name.
In his almost 50-year career, actor Michael Keaton has been called everything from Mr. Mom to Batman to Beetlejuice.
The juice is loose.
But now he's not so sure about being called Michael Keaton anymore. His real name, Michael Douglas, which he couldn't use when he started acting because of Screen Actors Guild credit rules. There was already a Michael Douglas.
Where'd that come from?
So he picked the name Keaton at random. But now he tells People magazine he'd like to change his name professionally to Michael Keaton Douglas. And he meant to for his directorial debut last year, Knox Goes Away, but he forgot. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
That was your 620 CKRM News. Your weather is next.
Barrels of fresh produce grown locally.
Mustards and condiments made locally.
And Western Canadian beef, aged 14 days.
Your barbecue tastes better when you shop at Sherwood Co-op Food Stores, offering more local products than any other grocery store.
While stocking the national brands you love.
Plus, member benefits let you share in the equity.
Get your barbecue meat cut in-house, your way.
I like my way.
Get more local flavor for your barbecue.
At Sherwood Co-op Food Stores, your truly local grocery store.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Style. Performance. Upgrade your daily driver to the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. This SUV packs a punch with features that make a normal drive exhilarating. The ultimate in automotive luxury can be yours for $419 bi-weekly. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Mercedes-Benz Regina will help you find the exact model you want. Take a test drive and feel the difference. Stop by for an award-winning experience at Mercedes-Benz Regina, recipient of the Star Dealer Award.
And now it is time for your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Mainly clear tonight with a low of +5. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high of 24. Saturday, partly to mostly sunny and hot with a high of 30. Sunday, sunshine and hot and a high of 32. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the west at 18, gusting to 31, and it's 22 degrees. Regina is also partly cloudy. Winds from the west at 18, gusting to 30, and it's 21 degrees. Get news and information anytime through the CKRM app or stream online at 620ckrm.com.
Whether Smokey's after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, all new Sports Cage on 620 CKRM. Thanks to everyone tuning in at the sportscage.com. You got to go, it's the YouTube channel. You got to like and subscribe. Why? Because we're always giving things away, and we're going to be sneakily giving things away to our subscribers on YouTube. So go do that for us. If you can do us a favor, that'd be great. Still more to come. Don't forget that keyword for the ultimate football road trip down to Minnesota to watch the Texans and the Vikings with Engelheim Tours. Today is Houston at 936-6262. Are we giving away rider tickets also? People are asking. You never know. You want to stay tuned. Like I said, we're always surprised. Maybe we're just going to give them to YouTube subscribers. Always keep you guessing. Always keep you on your toes. All right, big football weekend. So much going on. Riders in Winnipeg. It's the Huskies and Rams. So many high school games to get to. And it's the Thunder and the Saskatoon Hilltops. Bidsy's up in Saskatoon right now. He's going to take this one. But I had to say hi to this guy. I had to ask him one question. My former coach, not for the Hilltops, but just my former coach, Tom Sargent, is up in Saskatoon. Sarge, how the heck are ya? So nice to see ya.
Barney, great to see you, kid. Yeah, life's doing okay for me. How's it for you?
Not bad, not bad. 13-year-old boy, 11-year-old girl. They love the game of football. They're exactly like I was, Sarge. Into everything, just a way better kid. The one story, it's funny, the one story I told about you last week on the show, when Ryan Pollock was here, he went to Miller, and I'm like, for some reason, Sarge took me on the junior basketball team at Bedford Road. I don't know why he took me on that team, but he gave me a spot on the team, and we went to a junior basketball tournament at Balfour Collegiate in Regina. I have no idea what we were doing, why we were doing it. We stayed at the Imperial 400, but I was just happy to be playing basketball with my buddies.
Well, hey, there's some, you had a spark of life, and I can still see it now, and at the end of the day, I always kept my football guys close to me. So I think I'm not sure. I think we did pretty well in that tourney too. It's a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, you're not a dumb coach. Obviously, you've won a lot of championships. You rode our horses. I think it was Chris Von Hagen, Tim Cross, Dustin Sire. There was you know what? I was just happy to be there. But I know Bidsy's going to take this one away, Sarge. It's so nice to chat with you. We'll chat with you again as the season goes on, and see that you're. It's nice to see that you're doing well.
Yeah, I appreciate you and appreciate that.
Right on, Bidsy, take it away.
All right, Sarge. So let's talk. First off, thanks for joining us here. We're at the Synergy 8, tournament here. There's going to be about 1,000 people coming through the doors a little bit later. Kim Coates, William Fichtner, and Canadian PGA Tour player Adam Hadwin will be rolling through as well too. You and I were shooting the breeze a little bit about those guys. I asked you if you were familiar with any of their movies, and you said I'm more of a game film kind of guy.
Come on now. Yeah, I don't get into movies too
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
I'm too busy trying to make sure our ball team's going to be in the right spots to do the right things, and nothing more important than this weekend against Regina.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that. 2 undefeated teams, and you guys are going to the Queen City, bringing your squad down there. Maybe just a little bit more about this matchup. You've had a chance to watch each other and prep for a few days.
Oh yeah, hey, they threw out good game film. There's a reason they're 3-0, but there's also a reason we're 3-0. So you throw out all the crap, all the record. It's going to be a real physical contest. My coach has put together a pretty good game plan. We're pretty confident with it. Now the players got to get out there and execute. We got 2 more sleeps before the reality sets in, and as I said, can't wait. Let's go.
Yeah, undefeated after your first 3. Sorry about that. I meant to say undefeated after the first 3. So just. When you go down to Mosaic, I know it's maybe not the same, atmosphere for a Riders game, of course, not 33,000, but maybe just talk about being on the road and being there in the Queen City. Is it a tough place still for you guys to go on and win in their turf?
Well, number one, it's exciting. You're going to Mosaic, a lot of these kids, but we're going to be taking some 18 to 19-year-olds who've never been in that stadium before. So once you get there, you got to go through the awe a little bit. I still get goosebumps as a guy that's been there, coached there over 40 times. So, there's some realities to that. But then, hey, at 7 o'clock when the ball gets kicked off, nothing else matters. They're going to bring their Saturday best. We need to bring our Saturday best. And, hey, we'll see where it takes us. One way or another, the league's going to figure out who sort of the top dog is. And as I said, happy where our guys are at.
Talk about this season for yourself. Back, you're, of course, legendary coach. Sarge has been with the team long enough that I was playing.
Yeah, there you go.
And when you were part of the coaching staff before you took over as a head coach from Dave Hardy back in the day. So what year is this now for you at the helm? Is it
27 as a head football coach is 27.
Yeah. And so years, you always tell me, you're like, Bids, I don't know what it's year to year.
1 year at a time. I just signed 1 year contracts, and I've had some life come my way that makes you think a little different. I've retired from my profession in education. So, those days are done. So now I'm just sort of figuring out the new way. And, hey, I was golfing today before this, so it's not a bad day.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good being retired and all. Now, there was an episode that took place with you in the off season. If you don't mind, maybe just sharing a little bit with our listeners about that. Obviously, you had a little bit of a health scare. People in Saskatoon know about it, but you're back, you're healthy, and maybe just a bit more on that if you don't mind.
Well, I challenge anyone that doesn't feel they're right, make sure you go to your doctor. I was fortunate enough to go for a stress test and realize that things weren't quite right, and that was still during the season, and got on some medication, and then we went for some other testing, and long story short, I ended up going for open heart surgery, had a double bypass, and it's been a long road to recovery, but football was sort of the thing at the end that I was really earmarking for, and really, I love to set goals, and so that was one of them. And I'm slowly getting underneath myself again, getting more confidence and feeling better. But as I say, it was a long road, but when my family and friends were absolutely unbelievable, and the support and love was exceptional, and that's why I'm here today. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to, hey, I got a second chance. I'm just going to keep one foot in front of the other, enjoy every day to the best of my ability.
Now, do you change your maybe not necessarily your philosophy, but do you try to maybe zen yourself a little bit or something like that? Because I know you are a fiery guy. Everybody that knows you're a fiery guy. The engine burns hot and fast. And then going into this year, after the episode, do you try to maybe, I don't know, just try to get yourself a little more calm on the sidelines? I don't know. What's your take on it?
No question. Yeah, I'm trying, but it's still not me. And so some of those reality moments still come in, and I check myself. I got this watch. I check out my heart rate, and just bad news. So, I got work to do for sure, but I'm getting better. That's just a reality of, hey, being 59 years old now, there's some reality to that too. But it's like, no, I'm still me. I'm still going to let you know what I know. And I just hope I can do it a little more effectively, a little better. Barney would know about that too. But, I'm not quite there yet, and I don't want to be.
Well, working with the young guys sometimes probably can get you a little fired up, especially when you're working with young guys that are anything at all like Barney Shinkaruk was. I'm sure at a young age. What about the coaches? Are they ever saying, they were trying to maybe don't tell that to Sarge, or maybe, maybe I'll do that this year, Sarge, or is there anything like that too? Well, your coaching staff is super close with you.
Yeah, unbelievable. I've challenged them, guys. It can't always be me.
Yeah.
I need more of you. everyone sort of always waits for me, and I don't want it to be me all the time. You see something, let's get after it. That's just the type of coaching I want anyways. And that's who I got. The guys I got over 100 years of experience, all put together, unbelievable. So, hey, they're looking after me, and I'm trying to look after them. And as I said, it's just been a phenomenal connection for all of us over all these years. And hey, it's led to a lot of success for this Hilltop organization as well.
I suppose it's a little bit of a personal adjustment as well, too, right? Because I asked you said that you're retiring from teaching this year. You were a principal here in Saskatoon at Walter Murray High School. And then I asked you about, another year coming back. And you said, well, one thing at a time, bitch. I just retired as a principal, one thing at a time. But the Hilltops family, this job, this position, which is so close to you, of course, I suppose it would be too big of an adjustment as well, too, right? To have both those things gone from your life, which, it's been 27 years. I mean, that's a long time, obviously.
Yeah, and 38 years altogether. I was a 7-year assistant under Dave Hardy and played 4 years with the Hilltops. So, as I said, I wouldn't be sitting here beside you today if it wasn't my connection to, become a Hilltop and then pursue it. And that's where my passion for football.
For years, your vehicle probably just drives itself right to
I've been biking every day. I've been biking every day.
So the bike just gets you. I'm sure it just goes directly to the clubhouse anyway. So
I'm biking now.
Attaboy. Last one for you as we go into this big game in the Queen City in Regina, Hilltops versus the Thunder. Just your take on the. You mentioned they brought forth some great game film. So just your take on this edition of the Thunder, and maybe finish off with what people can expect from this year of the Saskatoon Hilltops, who are once again the defending national champions.
Yeah, I like that sound. Well, number one, Regina Thunder, physical defense. They've given up the least amount of points this year, and they're very aggressive. They're getting after things, and very aggressive concepts offensively. They got 2 stud running backs, skilled receivers. They brought in 2 Americans, one a left tackle, one a receiver. We have yet to do that, but other programs in CGFL have done that. And Regina for the last 2 years have brought in some American players to soak up their rosters. So we know they're going to be on point. And you get to my team. Number one, hey, we got a great quarterback, Trey Reeder, 5th-year guy. One led us to a championship last year. Boy, he's executed the game plans inside and out, and so we're excited for him. We got skilled receiver Drake Douglas as top receiver in the league. 4 or 5 starters on the offensive line are back, led by All-Canadian Cody Szymanski, and Corbin Evans stepped up and become the running back. And we're a running football team. I always say 50-50, but I like to slide it more. Let's go ground and pound. And then defensively, last year we're off the charts, and this year we had half the guys graduated, but the group this year, they're coming on. Hey, nothing better to find out what our defense is, more importantly than a big game in Regina Saturday night. So All-Canadian John Stevens in the B gap, Noah Getter at will linebacker, and Dalton Urban at safety are the guys that are going to lead us and going to be the playmakers, and we need everyone else rallying around them and setting the tone for a physical match come Saturday.
I think it's going to be an awesome game. It will be the Regina Thunder in the Queen City at Mosaic Stadium hosting the defending national champs, their provincial rivals, the Saskatoon Hilltops. He is Tom Sargent. He is my former coach with the Hilltops, former coach for Barney Shinkaruk. And what school was that at? Was that at
Bedford Road?
That was at Bedford Road. Oh boy, Bedford Road.
Yeah. Good old days. Awesome time.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I forgot that he was a Bedford Road guy. And now, considering you used to coach both of us, you're going to have to subscribe to our channel on sportscage.com. He is Tom Sargent. We're back with more on the all-new Sportscage on 620 CKRM right after this short break.
The all-new Sportscage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Greetings, football fans.
The ultimate football road trip. NFL football is back. The all-new Sportscage and Engelheim Tours are sending you to Minneapolis on the ultimate football road trip to see the NFL's Minnesota Vikings play the Houston Texans. Weekdays at 3:30, listen for the Engelheim Tours football keyword. Then text it to us. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win. The grand prize includes deluxe motor coach transportation from Regina, hotel, and tickets to the game at US Bank Stadium. For trip details or to buy your own ultimate NFL football road trip, go to EngelheimTours.ca.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
It's employee pricing at Crestview Chrysler, and that means
you pay what we pay.
It's amazing. It's exciting. It's mind-blowing. I apologize. I'm just very excited.
If you need a used or new vehicle,
you can get what I pay for a vehicle. You pay what I pay, and you don't even have to work here.
It's the best time of year for a new or pre-owned vehicle.
Right now, you pay what I pay.
You get a great deal, and you don't even have to work.
Employee pricing is back at Crestview Chrysler.
From the Sask Today newsroom, here's what's making news in Saskatchewan.
Canada is banning EV cars from China, and China opening up a trade spat over Canadian canola. This trade discussion could cost real dollars in Saskatchewan.
Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground in communities across Saskatchewan, focusing on local topics that matter to you. Visit and bookmark sasktoday.ca and sign up for our daily news digest. sasktoday.ca. Everybody has a story. From Harvard Media, everywhere.
With top-performing tillage, seeding, and crop care implements, Kubota's got what you need for efficient, productive farming, including plows, drills, and more. This fall, get 0% financing for up to 60 months. See your Kubota dealer for details.
The all-new Sports Cage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. Thanks to everyone who is subscribing on our YouTube channel, sportscage.com. You can hit video and you can watch this whole operation go down. Like I said, subscribing on the YouTube. Thank you very much. And then everyone out there in Radioland as well. Saskatchewan Roughrider 50-50. Oof, you want to get in by, what do we got here? 40 minutes left by 5 o'clock tonight, people, because then you're in for the early bird as well, which is the Nashville Getaway. 3 nights in Nashville. Flights, accommodations. You got a little Grand Ole Opry tour there as well, or you can just take $4,500 cash. All that money from the Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50 goes to all the football teams around the province as well. We talked to the Hilltops, the Thunder, the Rams, the Huskies, as well as amateur football, the Northern Football League. We're going to be all over high school football this year. I love it. It's actually starting tonight, Bidsy, as we speak. In Clavette, in the 2-a-side 6 or 2A 6-a-side. 2-a-side. Imagine that. Yeah, I used to play.
You and I could not play 2-a-side.
Used to play it on the beach. It was just called Run and Chase. It's Davidson is in Clavette right now as we speak. So that's going on. And then Delisle's in North Battleford taking on John Paul II. Oh, I love it. 6-man ball, 9-man ball, whatever. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Always an awesome night for Western Pizza. All the Greek favorites you love. And pizza with a generous amount of toppings. Tim Klein joining us from the Indian Head Broncos. Tim, it is a big day in Indian Head tomorrow because we got a new football field.
We do have a new football field. And I just want to correct you, it's Bronx.
It's Bronx, yeah. You know what? I always get that with the Balcarres hockey team as well. I call them Broncos, and it's Bronx. And I'm like, yeah, we want to go. Yeah. We want to make sure it's Bronx. So the new football field. First off, why did we need a new field?
Well, the reasoning mostly was because we didn't have irrigation. So every summer we were taking basically one hose, letting it run 24/7, an oscillating hose, and then we just move it every 3 hours and then let it go for the night, and then back there at 7 the next morning doing it to keep our field. And especially last few summers or the summers previous that were drought conditions, that made it really tough. And I mean, taxing. I mean, summer is supposed to be time off and relaxing, and instead we're coming here, making sure that everyone who's going to do this on the field, who's going to do that. So we've kind of always had a long-term goal to do this. It's been a long-term philosophy of ours, and we finally got enough funds to do it, and we did it, but we did it bigger than I would have ever imagined it being.
Such a Sasky thing going out, and I'm sure there was volunteers. Okay, who's moving the hose tonight? Who's moving the hose in the morning? Well, I'm out for my walk anyway. I'll just go and move it. Not a problem. You talk about how long it takes, or how long it took to get here, the cost and all that. Volunteers, I'm sure, community businesses stepped up. Who can we give shout outs to on that?
There's a lot of shout outs. I think the first shout out I have to give is to the head of our Bronx Parents Association, Virginia Horseman. She has kind of been the locomotive behind pulling this entire train. And I think it's, the work that she has put in has been astronomical, and the vision that she had for what not only the field would look like, but the entire facility. It's more than just the field. We have rebuilt the game field, irrigated that. We built the practice field, irrigated that. We have lights up now. And we took all the old, when Mosaic closed, we took a bunch of, we auctioned a bunch of the seats, the metal seats, and those are now bleachers in our on our field. So we have 8 big standards with 4 bleachers each, so 32 benches. It's a pretty impressive looking thing, and we've had companies, Flame Fabricators did that for us, and just the local support has been insane. It's awesome.
Vidzier, you go.
I was
Sorry,
I was just going to quickly ask about what it does for the community when something like this is completed. It's just got to spark everybody in the community, and in this case, to go support football. Not that they didn't before, but just an extra bit of excitement as well too, to go there and take in the game and support it. Because when the community comes together like this, it gives you an extra little, chance to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, tomorrow we have a little bit of a carnival atmosphere. We're going to have a grand reopening, I guess you would say. But there's a carnival starting. We have a great canteen here. I always say the Bronx burgers are the best burgers in the province. So we have a great canteen. We have a dinner special. Our SRC are running games and things like that, kind of a mini tailgate prior to the game. Then we're having a little ceremony from about 6 to 6:25. And then us and Broadview will hit the field for the warm-up, and then kicking off Friday Night Lights at 7 p.m.
Oh,
I was going to say, and is Trooper playing?
We thought about getting a band. I'm not going to lie about that, but we do have a DJ who's going to be here. We have a local DJ, Eric Blaone, who does just an amazing job for us. And has volunteered for us, not only here, but like at Volleyball Provincials when we hosted that, and he streams and commentates all our games. So yeah, it's a big deal. And we played all our games on the road last year. So for the young men and women on our team to be involved in this type of thing it's an exciting time.
Oh, under the lights. I love it as well. Okay, so it's 9-a-side that you guys
Yes, it is.
That you guys play? Okay, so give people that don't know out there, what are some of the differences in rules from 12 to 9-a-side?
In 12-a-side, you need to have 7 on the line of scrimmage, and obviously 12 players on. In ours, in 12-a-side, you have the offensive line and the offensive tackles. The 5-man offensive line with the tackles. The difference in 9-man is obviously the 9 players, but we only need 5 on the line of scrimmage. And the tackles, we call them ends because the ends are eligible. Our tackles are always eligible. So whoever's on the outside of the line is always an eligible player. So we send them out. I mean, other teams use them probably a little more than we do, but it is certainly an added dimension. I would say there's a lot of similarities to the motions and things that you'll see on American football.
I just want to say maybe that was some gamesmanship. We don't send them out that often, but then watch you guys come out with all these the guards running out, flags, double outs, all this. I love it. Actually, so the name of the field, is it McCall Field?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and where does that name come from?
That is named after a coach here in Indian Head, Dave McCall, and he was the coach here for 30 plus years. And so it was a little tribute when we started the program again in 2011. It was a little tribute to him, or a major tribute to him, and recognize all the time that he had put into the program.
So awesome. Okay, so tomorrow night, Broadview. What are we seeing out of that league this year? If you're going to do some power rankings for your league, who do you got where?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I can't say. I haven't seen anyone. I mean, we came out of there number one last year. I think we're putting a decent team on the field again this year. But I mean, Fort Capel is tough. Melville's tough. Esterhazy's tough. Yorkton always has good players, and Broadview has good players. Like it's really tough to say from year to year. You don't know. Maybe someone's added a coach or two that's kind of made a little bit of a difference. Maybe a couple of kids have come out who, are really good athletes and they never played before. So in our particular league, I would say that those are the favorites. You have your perennial favorites like Lumsden. They were last year's provincial champions. Melfort is going to be really tough. Shaughnaben's a good team.
Gull Lake used to be.
Team. Yeah, there's great football really throughout the province. Humboldt, Foam Lake, like all these teams put out quality teams every year. Yeah. And if you look at the junior football, I saw Sarge on here before, but if you look at junior football in Saskatchewan, you'll see a lot of 9-man players on those rosters. We have 2 currently on the Thunder right now.
That's for sure. So in closing, I like how you keep your cards close to your chest vest region. You weren't going to do any power ranking. Where we want to go in, we want to surprise everybody, Barney. Come on. What you guys said you played every game on the road last year. So now what do you do with that extra budget?
I don't know.
You guys were road warriors.
Yeah, we were. The good thing is we were put, so traditionally we've been in Conference 2, which meant we had to travel to Shaunavon, Gull Lake, Maple Creek, usually 1 or 2 of those a year, which was it's a long trip for a football game. But because Moose Jaw Vanier came in, that brought them into Conference 2. We got moved to Conference 3. So now instead of a 4.5-hour drive to Maple Creek, our longest game is 1.5 hours. So it is really improved the budget, I would say. So
congratulations. It's going to be awesome tomorrow night in Indian Head for the Bronx against Broadview. What's Broadview's team?
They're the Bandits.
The Bandits. Okay, I can't hack up that name. So the Bronx and the Bandits tomorrow night in Indian Head under the lights. He says the Bronc burgers are amazing. Go pick one up. Tim, thanks so much for hopping on, and continued success out there.
Thanks so much. Talk to you again, and go Bronx.
There we go. Oh, Bidsy, doesn't that get you revved up a bit? High school football under the lights. Like you and I had the Gordie Howe Bowl thing in Saskatoon, right? Like that was running off the bus under the lights. That was always such a rush. But this small town football, it is people don't know that have never gone how awesome it is, especially the playoff times. You got cars lined up for everywhere. The field's packed. People park. Yeah, hey, and I bet you over under 100 Yeti cups tomorrow night around that field tomorrow. The parents, just like a hockey rink. It's like, so Tim's giving me the thumbs up. He's still on the stream over there. He's saying way over that. I love it. No, we're going to be following. Let's talk some high school football. Let's take a quick break, Bidsy, and we'll come back. We'll talk some high school football. If you're watching us on sportscage.com and you subscribed on the YouTube stream, thank you very much. And we are always on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
When it comes to duct cleaning, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll clean out the dust and debris that builds up over the summer. When you need protection, they offer a monthly plan for homeowners to get regular service done on their AC and furnace, as well as plumbing. And when it comes to furnace servicing, it's never too early to get that done too. Bronco will service your furnace and have you ready to go before winter hits. Consider it today, so you can rest easy tomorrow. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com.
The government just asked us to save the world. They'll do it. They've made a few requests, so they want you to bring back floppy disks, pet rocks, and they all want Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Well, that last one we can do.
You don't want to miss a thing. That's why at Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, they have so much to offer, like SaskTel wireless internet. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Fall is here and the water is fine. Water Vision Pool and Spas in Moose Jaw is your one-stop destination to relaxation. After a busy summer, the showroom is now fully restocked with hot tubs and accessories. In stock right now, brand new hot tubs starting at only $97.50. You won't find a deal like this anywhere. Once harvest is over, it's time to relax in your brand new Hydro Pool hot tub from Water Vision in Moose Jaw. Get in today while the selection is at its best. The water is calling. Maybe you should answer. Water Vision Pool and Spas, High Street, Moose Jaw.
Don't miss the Sukin and Ship Pioneer Village and Museum Threshing Bee on September 7th and 8th. Admission is just $10 for adults, children 6 to 12 are 5, and a 2-day pass is $16. Gates open at 8 a.m. Demonstrations include threshing, plowing, rope making, and blacksmithing. Catch the tractor pull both days, as well as a pancake breakfast from 8 till 10. Church services on Sunday at 11. The Sukin and Ship Pioneer Village and Museum, 13 kilometers south of Moose Jaw on Highway number 2. Visit sukinandshipmuseum.ca.
Nelson Homes is celebrating 75 years of supplying panelized and ready-to-move homes to people across Saskatchewan and the prairies. Nelson Homes has put customer satisfaction and trust at the core of their mission, providing residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural customers with innovative and cost-effective solutions. Call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
The all-new Sports Cage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage, sportscage.com if you're streaming out there, and always on 620 CKRM. It's for Access Communications, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, home, and security. Rural Saskatchewan, that's what we're talking about here. Like I said, Clavette and Davidson are battling right now in Clavette in a 6-a-side 2A football. Tomorrow there's a plethora of games. Oh, there's a couple other ones today. Let's go to this here. 6A, 6-a-side, 2A. We got Waka is in Hague. Waka making that tough cross-country trek to Hague. And then Shellbrook and Creighton. Creighton's way up there. Yeah, that's awesome. Get football
Creighton
going.
Is way up there. I'll have to find out. I got to find out what are the monikers or the names of some of these teams, because I bet you there's some beauties in there for sure.
Yeah, or we can just make them up. Waka, what was it? They used to have a real nice kubasa there at the Crossroads restaurant.
They ran a good one? They ran a good one there?
And then Hague is where I always stop for gas, and then I always pick up a little Chester's chicken there from that on the way to the lake.
I think it's the Waka Warriors and the Hague Henchmen.
Henchmen?
Yeah. And the Waka Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Waka Warriors. Have you ever been to a 9 or a 6-man game?
Way back in the day when I was visiting some relatives. Ituna, I think.
Yeah, Ituna's a wagon. They're always in the league. Okay, so the email, you weren't on the show yesterday, Bidsy. It's hi@sportscage.com. So we did get a number of emails yesterday. We want to hype up your game. So tomorrow, you got to let us know. I can't find it right now. We did get one. He was talking about the Lemberg-Hafford game last year, how it was like the epic shootout that it was. So people, hi@sportscage.com. If you got some football going on in your town tomorrow, keep us updated. We love the Clutch Performers as well. Hey, Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, and Fenton dealer. Let's give our Clutch Performer today to everybody in Indian Head that got that McCall Field back up and running. I forget the lady's name that he said was kind of the locomotive. I don't know if she'd appreciate that. That lady that really got things going for that team. The lights, they had to move. Like I said, is there anything more Sasky than getting people to go out and move the hose because they can't water the field? Virginia, that was her name. I think Virginia.
Or donate the hose.
Yeah, I'm sure the local co-op or hardware store donated the hose. But that Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park, just down the road from Indian Head, to everyone instrumental in getting McCall Field back up and running. Bidsy, they're doing a little air check up there at the Synergy 8 event. Maybe just run people down again that are just tuning in now. What you're doing up there in Saskatoon, where the money's going.
Okay, so the Synergy 8 tournament here is a big one. It's been going on for about 15 years, I think, is how long it's been happening. And
you got to talk right into that mic because we can barely hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, now with the air check going on, sorry. So it's the 15th year of the Synergy Golf Tournament. There's a golf tournament, of course, that happened today, and then tonight, as you can tell by the music and the air check in the background, there is a banquet here at Prairieland Park in Saskatoon. There's about 1,000 people coming, and there's going to be Q&A with PGA Tour player born in Moose Jaw, Adam Hadwin, and Kim Coates, actor Kim Coates. He brought his fellow actor, Hollywood buddy, William Fichter as well, who's been in some movies like The Perfect Storm, Black Hawk Down, and
we can't hear a word you're saying. We gotta throw right? Those guys. Yeah, I'm trying to pick out the song. I know it's not Joyride or Dress for Success, so I don't get excited. But let's throw to the interview with you and Kim Coates and William Fichtner earlier today.
We are joined now by Adam Hadwin, Canadian PGA Tour player, of course. Adam, thank you for taking the time to join us on Sportscage.
My pleasure.
Okay, so first off, you're born in Moose Jaw, but we're basically going to say you're from Saskatchewan. You're born in Moose Jaw. Just talk about when you moved to Abbotsford, because really you're from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I do feel like I take the prairies with me everywhere I go. Less than a couple of years. So I was born there. I don't really, unfortunately, have many memories. Only what my parents will tell me, but we moved away early. I consider Abbotsford home. It's where I did most of my high school and all of that. And so, my parents live here now, again, here in Saskatoon. My aunt and grandma have never left. So I've always had family here. I've always visited during the summers, and a lot of fond memories from Saskatoon.
Okay, so you got mom and dad in Saskatoon. You got a lot of relatives in Saskatchewan. You were born in Moose Jaw. You're basically from Saskatchewan. Okay, exactly. And you moved to Abbotsford a little later on. Yeah. So would that mean then, if you had to pick a CFL team, so where does that go now?
Trying to get me on the green.
Yeah,
huh?
You could just say the right thing.
I could, but listen. I'm sorry. I'd be a Lions. I think I would choose Lions at this point. Yeah, growing up Vancouver.
Okay, so then if you had a second team, then it would
I would definitely rock the green. For
okay,
the second
then
team.
it would for sure be the Riders.
Go Riders.
Okay, talk about the PGA Tour and how it's treated you so far in 2024.
Yeah, I think there's a little disappointment. I didn't get to the Olympics, which was one of my goals. I didn't get picked for President's Cup, which was another one of my goals.
Sure.
I didn't finish off I had a great start to the year. Didn't really finish it off though. Had a good chance the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks of the season to get myself back into Tour Championship, and unfortunately did not play some good golf towards the end. So, but that is, what we do. It's sometimes you just feel like you never know when you're going to play well, and yeah, it'll be another big off season and kind of reassess everything and figure out where to go from here and how to get better and go again next year.
You talked about a couple goals, and so can you share with us what those might be for 2025? And then when you accomplish them, we can be, we knew he was going to do it.
I mean, goals are, I feel like my goals are pretty simple usually. It's to win again, get back to tour championship, get some good finishes in major championships. That's always a big one. No teams or anything to try and get on next year. So it'll kind of all be personal stuff. And just, kind of go out there and enjoy it, really. Kind of soak up. This will be my 11th year now on the PGA Tour. And time just flies. It's crazy. It's been that long already.
For sure. Talk about being here in Saskatoon, once again, your home province. Or like we like to say. It feels like home for sure. And part of this Synergy 8 event and other events like this that raise so much good money for the local communities.
Yeah, no, this has been great. It's been nice. I've come back the last couple of years now with my family to see my parents and everything. But this is a great opportunity for me to be a part of something bigger and kind of give back to a community maybe that I haven't over the course of my career because I haven't had the ties and stuff as much. And so to be back here with Synergy 8 on such an amazing event, it's great to get back to a community I haven't in the past, and that feels like home, that we can help make a difference in. And so just a very small cog in their machine. They're the wonderful people who have putting this on now for 15 years and done great things in the community. So just happy to be a small part of it.
This one I have to ask, and it's from one of our listeners in Moose Jaw, your hometown once again, where you're born. They want to know how a PGA Tour pro like yourself would do at Hillcrest. I floated this by a little bit earlier. I wanted you to think about it. So
honestly, my dad would probably have a better, he worked at Hillcrest, so he'd probably have a better idea, but when these questions come up, because it happens quite a bit, what would you shoot if you came here? I don't know if it'd be as low as you think. It just depends, but I would think that we could probably be under par without much trouble. I've gone to a lot of places where I haven't played very well and I've shot 2 or 3 under.
Sure.
Just because it's shorter and you can get away with a lot more than we typically do.
Okay.
And so I would expect to be under par, but that certainly is by no means a guarantee.
Yeah.
But it'd be fun. It'd be a nice little YouTube series I feel like somebody could create and go around to different local municipal courses and city courses and play and have a little series about it.
That sounds like a not bad idea. Something we might do at Harvard Media here. Good, thanks for the idea. Adam Hadwin, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Really nice talking to you. Saskatchewan's own from Moose Jaw.
There he is, Adam Hadwin. Yeah, he isn't a very big guy. How tall are you?
Do you want me to be truthful or okay?
Yeah, well, why? We're at the point of our life we don't have to lie about it anymore.
Come on. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I was 5'10".
Why is this such a tough question?
Apparently I'm shrinking, okay? Apparently I'm shrinking. So now I'm 5'9", apparently. So now I'm 5'9". Yeah,
so
there you go.
Adam Hadwin would be in the 5'9" neighborhood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes, and he's not breaching. He's definitely not breaching 175 pounds.
Okay.
Very fit.
The band sounds like they're done getting
I got
their.
him on a timeout. I told him. I told him you're upset, so I got him on a timeout. Sorry.
I feel like they went back-to-back Trooper as well, so we weren't missing anything. What are they raising money for? People couldn't hear you before. Just give it. You got 35 seconds. Give the elevator pitch on what Synergy 8's doing up there.
Okay, they raise it for a number of great charities, but the biggest one is the Children's Hospital, the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. They're looking to get some new equipment there. Some of this equipment is going to be upwards of $1 million. They're looking to raise a bunch of money for the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. So that's where the majority of the money is going from Synergy 8.
golf tournament was sold out. The dinner tonight sold out. Great event up there. Bidsy, you got to scram right away because the Rainbow Hunting Boys or whatever band that was, they are coming back on stage up there. You want to go grab an old Vienna and take that in. And let's close with, give me your prediction tonight, Chiefs and Ravens.
Okay, I didn't weigh in on this a ton before when you guys were talking, but I am thinking that the Chiefs are going to pull it off again. As Rash touched on, the Chiefs have a chance to do something special. So I think with the big three, Patrick Mahomes, head coach Andy Reid, and of course Travis Kelce, along with some great names on defense like Smith coming back, I like the Chiefs to be there again in the end.
Did you think of a hot take for the NFL season since you've had some time to think about it? Do you think of anything crazy?
Anything really, really, really controversial? I'm going to say that the first firing in the NFL will come from the New York Jets. I think that there's going to be some problems there, and I don't see it as being as successful as a lot of people think. So I'm going to say the first firing is going to come from New York.
The axe will fall.
I'm going to say from New York, then that gives me, that'll give me two teams to go with. How about that?
There you go. Way to play the odds. I like it. All right, Bidsy, have a good time up there tonight. Have fun at the Synergy 8 event, and we are going to get one of your other interview with Kim Coates and Billy Fichtner.
Billy Fichtner.
Fichtner. Yes, I know him as an actor. I know him as an actor. Obviously, I didn't know how to pronounce his last name, so we'll get to that in the next hour. Bidsy, have a good time. You're watching the all-new Sports Cage at thesportscage.com on YouTube, and also listening on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Greetings, football fans.
The ultimate football road trip. NFL football is back. The all-new Sports Cage and Engelheim Tours are sending you to Minneapolis on the ultimate football road trip to see the NFL's Minnesota Vikings play the Houston Texans. Weekdays at 3:30, listen for the Engelheim Tours football keyword, then text it to us. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win. The grand prize includes deluxe motor coach transportation from Regina, hotel, and tickets to the game at US Bank Stadium. For trip details or to buy your own ultimate NFL football road trip, go to EngelheimTours.ca.
Pizza! Where's it from?
Kids, it's not delivery, it's...
No, it's definitely delivery. It's from Western Pizza. Mama's had a long day, so she ordered online, poured a glass of Happy, put her feet up, and waited for the doorbell. There's also Caesar salad, lasagna, chicken wings. Oh, I got lots, so we can have the leftovers tomorrow and the next day.
Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste, big on convenience. Get it delivered today.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
All right, let's get going. It's that time again.
Harvest! When it's that time again, the harvest isn't always met with open arms by Mother Nature. This harvest season, see the experts at Farmtronics. From grain and hay moisture testers to grain protein testers and scales, they're your one-stop destination for grain handling products for this year's harvest. They also service baler, combine, and grain cart monitors. Call Farmtronics today, 1-800-667-8001, or stop by 380 Henderson Drive.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Your sewer backed up big time. Some guys came, tore up the carpet and drywall, then disappeared, leaving a mess that's almost as bad as the first one. That's one disaster after another disaster. But even so, Winmar Property Restoration gets that ugliness handled. It doesn't matter if they didn't start the job, Winmar will finish it. And they'll finish it quickly. Winmar Property Restoration, 949-0032. See winmar.ca.
This summer, if you're thinking of a new building, think Olympic Buildings. They're engineered from top to bottom to be better than the rest. Strength, solid design, and impressive good looks are all standard on an Olympic farm building. Visit olympic-buildings.ca.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Celebrate the grand reopening of McCall Field at Indian Head High School this Friday, September 6th. A ribbon-cutting ceremony, concession, and at 7 o'clock, the Friday Night Lights game between Broadview and Indian Head. The Sukeninship Pioneer Village and Museum Threshing Bee is coming up this Saturday and Sunday. The demonstrations include plowing, threshing, rope making, and blacksmithing. A pancake breakfast 8 to 10 each day, located 13 kilometers south of Moose Jaw on Highway 2. And take in the Southie Summer Market every Sunday from 10 to 2 until the end of September. A variety of local vendors with baking, jewelry, clothing, and more. You can find them on the junction of Highway 6 and 22 as you enter Southie.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Benny Walchuk at our sister station up at GX in Yorkton covers a lot of hockey, junior hockey in that area. Just got a note here. He coaches high school football in Melville. I forget what the Melville team's name is. Is it Vipers up there? It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Coach Benny up in Melville. We've been talking a lot about high school football. Again, that email to send us in if you want shout-outs for your team going into tomorrow. Maybe the game's tomorrow, Friday Night Lights, like they're doing in Indian Head. Or anything like that, hi@sportscage.com. And somebody did message in on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. They wanted to know what the keyword was today for the Ultimate Football Road Trip. It's Houston. Houston is that keyword, 936-6262. Nothing else but Houston. That's all you want to put in there. Still to come in hour 3, we have Glenn Suter. We're going to talk to him. You have something to say?
Melville Cobras.
Melville, what do they call them, Vipers?
Yeah, so close.
Same thing. They're both reptiles.
Both snakes.
Both snakes is right. Sorry.
Hashtag for the venom.
Sorry, everybody in Melville.
Fear the venom, I should say. Fear the venom.
Do you know when their first game is?
Let's see what their posts say. If they got something here. No, just practices that they're saying.
Just practices. They're grinding out there. Speaking of grinding, let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline and talk to Brian Raymond from Flowing Springs Golf Course. Brian, what a day today. I took out the garbage somewhat early this morning. There was that little nip in the air, but there was no wind. I thought, put on a pair of slacks and a sweater. I could be out there golfing quite easy.
We did have golfers out here first thing this morning. It was a little chilly. There's no question about it, but these are diehard golfers that we have out here some days. And it was actually a busy morning, and it turned into a fantastic day. I mean, it is gorgeous out here right now. About 20 degrees, I guess, or 22 degrees, and a little bit of a breeze, but nice, really nice.
What should people be? Okay, so we got tomorrow. If you got the day off, why should they get out to Flowing Springs? What are the specials tomorrow, and then even into next week?
Well, the first thing to know is that the golf course is in fantastic shape. So
yes.
That's critical for most golfers. The greens are exceptional. They're running really well. The fairways are great. We have every day after 3 o'clock, it's $38 to come out and play. Every day after 5:30, it's $22. And starting on Monday, that $22 fee is going to start at 5. So we're going to make sure that people have enough time to get at least 9 holes in. Some will get a few more, depending on how fast they play. And Monday and Wednesday, ladies and seniors, $37 to come out and play the golf course.
$37, seniors and ladies. All right, can you hook people up still if they're looking for maybe not a last minute, but they want to get a group together? Maybe it's a corporate event. They want to come out and have a little corporate group outing out there?
Absolutely. We do that quite a bit, actually, with companies that do their customer appreciation or staff appreciation. $20 20 people, 15 people, 12 people, it doesn't matter. We'll take care of you. All you have to do is give us a call.
And what's that number or the website, Bri?
The number to call us for tea time is 306-543-5050, and you can book online at flowingspringsgolf.com.
Okay, and I got to get a prediction for the game this weekend in Winnipeg.
Oh, man. I predicted Riders last week, and I thought maybe they should have won with a few less mistakes. I'm going to say Riders by 3.
Riders by 3. Brian Raymond, let's talk again next week.
You betcha. Have a good weekend.
All right, like I said, Glenn Suter coming up on the program. Get on there. If you're watching at sportscage.com, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. You never know when you're going to be in the winnings. Houston is the key word if you're playing the Engelheim Charters. You want to get in on that trip. And then maybe after 5 o'clock, Colson's hinting that we might be doing pick the score. Might. He said strong possibility. So whatever that means. It's the all-new Sports Cage. We are streaming live, sportscage.com. And we're always on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. It's partly cloudy and it's 22 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Capel. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. And for Kevin's Marine, make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. kevinsmarine.com. Police say a 15-year-old girl has serious injuries after she was lit on fire at a Saskatoon high school. A teacher who tried to put out the fire was also injured. Police say a school resource officer who was at Evan Hardy Collegiate for a different matter apprehended a suspect. Officers say a 14-year-old girl is in custody. Saskatoon Public Schools says the school has been closed. Police say officers continue to investigate with the help of school officials. The variable weather around the province this past week has caused crop yields to be all over the place. Megan Rosso with the Ministry of Agriculture has the numbers.
45 bushels per acre for hard red spring wheat, 33 bushels per acre for durum, 75 bushels per acre for oats, 63 bushels per acre for barley, 34 bushels per acre for canola, and pulse crops are sitting at 36 bushels per acre for field peas and 1,317 pounds per acre for lentils.
Producers noted yields were variable from field to field due to scattered rain and hot temperatures during the flowering stage. Overall, harvest is 42% complete. Saskatchewan recorded 1,507 home sales in August, marking a 7% drop compared to last year. However, sales remain 12% above the 10-year average, continuing the province's trend of strong housing demand. A modest increase in new listings eased some pressure, but inventory levels dropped 17% from last year and are 40% below long-term averages. Saskatchewan's benchmark home price rose to $344,700, a 6% year-over-year increase. Strong demand, paired with falling unemployment, continues to support housing prices. Moose Jaw Police executed a search warrant today at a residence in the city's northwest. The Community Policing Division, the K-9 Unit, and Criminal Investigation Section were involved in the operation. Officers discovered stolen bicycles, e-bikes, crystal meth, and unstamped cigarettes during the search. A 34-year-old man was arrested and is facing multiple charges, including 7 counts of possession of stolen property, 1 count of possession of crystal meth, and a Tobacco Tax Act violation. His first court appearance is pending. Wyston is reeling after a fire destroyed key buildings, including the town office, post office, and an iconic former bar. The blaze wiped out all of Wyston's historical records dating back to the early 1900s. Local councillor Ed Omashinsky has fond memories of the old bar, lamented the loss.
They brought that bar in from a little small town up by Aston, and they back in the early 60s or mid-60s, and it's been there ever since, and it's like I said, it's a big loss.
Residents must now travel to Dinsmore for mail while the village considers the next steps. Volunteer fire crews from nearby towns tried to contain the blaze, but the damage was severe. The cause of the fire remains undetermined. It's 5:03, and that was your 620 CKRM News. Coming up next, your 620 CKRM weather.
With the success of the recent Apollo space flights, man has been brought another step closer to the moon. Aboard these flights, 3 astronauts, and with them, Top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features.
Houston, we've got no problem at all. We're loving these smartphones that we got at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer's biggest role isn't in the space program. It's right here on Earth, in Fort Qu'Appelle, or online at echosound.ca.
Summer's here, and if you want to have the best one yet, you'll need a boat from Kevin's Marine in Fort Qu'Appelle. Right now, they are putting folks on the water with the lowest prices of the year, including manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a fantastic selection of Lund and Four Winds boats, and pontoons from Crest and Harris. Now is the time to save big bucks and enjoy summer. Big savings, big fun, all at Kevin's Marine. Kevin's Marine in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Mainly clear sky for tonight as temperatures work down to around 5, a light wind, and some pretty dry air. Dry air cools off quickly and easily. It also warms quickly under the sunshine. Tomorrow we're not quite in that big warm-up we're expecting by the weekend, but we are a little milder. We'll be at 24 through the afternoon. Friday night, falling back to near 10. Light breeze through the day, stays pretty gentle through the night Friday night, and we've got a generally sunny sky on Saturday. It'll be hot as we climb back to around 30. The wind through the afternoon, 15 to 30, gusts to around 40 at times. That's the ridge building in. Once the ridge is in place, we will have some breezy conditions at times through the afternoon, but prevailing winds not too strong. Hot and dry for Sunday and Monday. Sunday's high 32, Monday we're at 33, and there really isn't a whole lot of change into midweek. We do cool back off to normal by the end of the week. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 23, Swift Current 22, Assiniboia 22, Yorkton Melville 19, Moosomin Broadview 20, Estevan 22, and Weyburn is 21. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy, winds gusting from the northwest up to 31, and it's 23 degrees. Regina is partly cloudy, winds from the northwest gusting up to 36, and it's 22. Get news and information anytime through the CKRM app or stream online at 620ckrm.com.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you more money at Matt's Furniture. Want to level up your washer and dryer pair with Maytag? Get the Maytag top load washer and electric dryer set with wrinkle prevention for $1,598. Or get the larger Maytag washer and electric dryer set with quick dry cycle, just $24.98. Purchase either and get a free year supply of Swash detergent. See in store for details. Matt's Furniture in Fort Qu'Appelle, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back, Curtis. What do we got? We got YouTube people watching out there in video land. Thanks to everyone who's watching. You got to go to sportscage.com video. Subscribe on the YouTubes. The boys are trying to figure out what we can get together for some sort of prize for everyone that's subscribing this week. It's always brought to you by Access Communications on Thursdays, trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Still to come in the program, we're going to hear from Nick Weeb of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's thrust into action finally for the green and white in the rematch. We're also going to hear from Miles Brown. A little lighter in the pocketbook. We're not sure how much, but a little lighter That's what we're saying. So we got that coming up, as well as Derek Bidwell's interview with Saskatoon's own Kim Coates and his buddy William Fichtner, who are up golfing, and they're part of the Synergy 8 event in Saskatoon tonight.
The all-new Sportscage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glenn Suter is brought to you by Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan, visit qualitytire.ca.
All right, Suits. It's been a few days since we just talked about the Miles Brown. Let's just get this over with. I guess the last time we talked, we were wondering if he was going to get fined, and he does get a little fine. You agree with it?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, he doesn't have any issues of this in the past. In fact, I heard today, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, so we'll just say it was a Twitter thing, but I heard today that Miles Brown has had 2 penalties in his entire career. And every guy I've talked to, I haven't got a chance to talk to Zach yet, but I'm sure he'll say the same thing. Every guy I talked to said Miles is not that kind of guy. He's not a dirty guy. It wasn't malicious. He's not trying to hurt anybody. He's playing hard, and he realizes that the targeting that he did in the hit was too high. And that's really just a small technical thing that if he lowers his pad level about a foot, it's fine and nothing happens. Probably not even a penalty. But because he was up with the shoulder and it was in the headgear, that's why the penalty, and we can't have those kind of hits.
We talked earlier, and it was funny, and we kind of talked about, Colson was saying in the NFL, we're taking our NFL hot takes this year, and he's saying his hot take was the NFL midseason is going to change the tush push. They're gonna put in a rule that doesn't allow the Philadelphia Eagles a chance to do that, especially now with Saquon Barkley in there. I feel like this is the time of the year, and I think you do as well, where people are talking about rule changes. We need rule changes in football.
Yeah. This is, when the NFL starts, and listen, I enjoy the NFL. I love it. I love college football, both in Canada and the United States. So I watch it probably differently than most, but I love it, and I always feel like I have to defend our game, and yet I love both games. I take the money out of it. I take the amount they get paid and the size of their paychecks completely out of it. And I've been saying for many, many years that both leagues have world-class athletes participating in them, and our rules are slightly different, which require, in some cases, a different body type of player and athlete than the NFL. And our rules are slightly different, and some of that is fantastic, and I think are better than them, and some of them I think they have it better. So it's this, but somehow this time of year, Barney, we all of a sudden start comparing. There'll be big numbers for Patrick Mahomes, and that it's a huge monster in North America, and good for them, but this is the part where I always say, let's just be proud of our game. We don't have to compare all the things and the nuance. We don't have to start every sentence with, well, they did this in the NFL. What about us? They can do whatever they want. It really doesn't matter. Some of their rules are silly, So I think we got to stop comparing, be proud of our own game, love our own game. The ratings are up. The numbers are up. Great crowds across the board on Labor Day. And the players on the field are delivering, Barney. Delivering.
Yeah.
Big time.
That's what I wanted to say. And I get it. Like we were talking to Arash earlier, the NFL is the biggest television program in the world, bar none. It's a television program. They've bullied their way to now take over Christmas from the NBA. They're playing a Friday night. They're taking that from college just to let college know who the big brother still is. They take it over. But if you look at it, and I don't think anyone can debate this, if you look at the entertainment value alone of the CFL games of this year, even the Saskatchewan Roughrider games, if you came from another country, another planet, and said, here, do you want to be entertained for 3 hours? Maybe besides the Edmonton game at home, every single Rider game has been unbelievably entertaining.
I couldn't agree more. And, part of the reason for that is our athletes, of course, and that's the main reason, and our great coaching staffs. But the other reason that's important to talk about is the rules. Yes. The rules allow for and create the opportunity for big finishes like we've seen. Because of even the way the clock is managed in Canadian football, you get 2 or 3 possessions possibly in the final 3 minutes. The onside kick is still alive. There's a lot, and Rider fans know well that can work and make it very exciting down the stretch. So, we're kicking deep field goals from 55 and 60 in some cases because of where the goalposts are set up. We have the big missed field goal return, and I know that gets to the single and the missed and all of those discussions. But honestly, our rules give us the opportunity to have those big finishes, and I wouldn't change a thing, honestly.
I love the fact that we've had the onside kick has worked for us. We've been on the wrong end of the rouge. I feel just for the hat trick this year, we got to do the drop kick. At some point, we need to implement the drop kick. Someone from the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I think Flutie did that one time. I think Doug Flutie did it. Yeah.
It's absolutely for the New England Patriots. He asked to do it, and they let him do it. It was his last game, and he executed it perfectly. Now, the other thing about the NFL, as they're getting pregame show ready here, and it starts tonight. The other factor, when you think about it, Travis Kelce and the Taylor Swift thing, it couldn't have come out any better, couldn't have played out any better until they break up. If they break up, sorry, Swifties out there, my daughter included. If they that's not going to be good. But there are so many people, young females in general, watching the NFL now just for a glimpse of Taylor Swift. It would have been like in the 80s if Glenn Suter was dating Anne Murray. People would have been watching like crazy. But I don't know. I couldn't think of another 80s good Canadian singer.
That's okay. Hey, by the way, I heard they're not splitting up, and that was Travis Kelce has said, I think publicly, that was a whole false information or whatever they're calling it, fake news, and that they're fine and that they're doing well. But it's a good point you make, because when we get to the Super Bowl and I hear on every single radio station, no matter what city I'm in, I hear all the time about what are you going to eat at the Super Bowl? Are you going to have the wings? Are you going to have the pizzas? What are you going to do? This is where they have beyond sports. It's sort of a massive event. I mean, the money spent on the halftime show alone in the Super Bowl is, it's not matchable or reachable for any other sport. You'll never see something like that, even pregame or postgame in the NHL, even, because the amount of money, we're talking trillions with the size of the league and everything. So
the World Cup
crosses over to
maybe the World Cup and the Olympics. That's the only where you're going to see a spectacle like that.
There you go, the Olympics. That would be the one. Yeah, and I'm not sure what they do World Cup wise at halftime, but I do know that's as big an event in Europe as it is the Super Bowl. But it's just that crossover where someone who has not watched one game, and I've done this so many times as just a fun experiment. I talk to people and they come up and they say to me, "Hey, are you going to watch the Super Bowl?" And I say, "Of course I am." And then they go, I say, "Are you going to? Who's your favorite team?" And they'll tell me San Francisco. And I say, "Okay, well, name me," and I'll take the quarterback out. Name me 3 players that play on San Francisco. And they go,
Ronnie Lott.
Well, the quarterback is cool, and I'm having wings at the Super Bowl. And I go, okay, well, see, that tells me all I need to know. And that's fine, and that's great, and that's why there's such a huge entity in the world. I mean, like you said, the biggest television program in the world.
It's okay. Let's stay on the heels of television programming, because it's this weekend that the CFL's back on CTV.
Yeah, and it's great we bring this up because I want to make sure that Rider fans know, because our first game on CTV is the Banjo Bowl. And I want Rider fans to know that it won't be on TSN. So our CTV games are strictly for CTV. And everyone that has a TV should be able to get CTV. And so it's not one of those cable have to buy the package things. And that's what this experiment is all about. And I hope it hits a home run. The Grey Cup will be on CTV as well. But I want Rider fans to understand, if you switch over to TSN, because you've done that out of habit for so long, it's not going to be on TSN.
They should be watching on TV and listening on 620 CKRM. Anyway, no offense to you. Did you ask? Have you asked for?
I'd be fine, Barney. I'd be fine with that because we'd get the rating, and so would you. And so would CKRM.
Hey, double dip. I love it. Did you ask for one? Are they bringing back those sweet CTV sport coats? Are you getting one of those?
With the big patch and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely not.
Oh,
but,
that would have been retro. That would have been great.
Well, maybe maybe for a playoff game or something. And by the way, the Eastern playoffs, let's get ahead of this controversy. The Eastern playoffs will be on CTV, not the West, but that is only because of the time slot that the Eastern games are played in. And that's where CTV can put it in. So it's a programming thing, not we don't care about the West. The West's going to be fun this year.
I will give it about 35 seconds before the text messages start coming in. The Easterners control everything. Damn yeah. No, okay.
Yeah.
It's the rematch though, and they it's 6 days apart or whatever it is. It's a big game for both teams, especially for the Riders. How are you seeing this game? What do the Riders need to do in this rematch?
They just have to make those 2 or 3 plays at the end of the game to finish it. And I had a good talk with Corey today, Corey Mace. I had a great talk with Trevor today, talking about sometimes that key play might be in the first quarter. So, when you hear the cliche that there's 6 big plays in a game that control the outcome, you just don't know when those 6 are going to happen. So, consistency. But I get the sense from the Rider locker room right now that they're done talking with how close they've been, and they're done talking with about, we're 1 point away, or this rule change, or the command center. It starts to completely sound like an excuse. And Trevor Harris was adamant today that that's not happening. They're saying enough talk. We've got to go finish. And they're motivated because of this skid. They're motivated. The Banjo Bowl historically is the toughest game to win in the Rider schedule. It just is. And it has been historically. The numbers show that. But I've been in that game, and I feel like there's been, 14 players against 12 in that game. It just feels that way. But the Riders have a different motivation now because of these losses, and they go in there hungry, very, very hungry. So I think this is going to be down to a wire game.
I think I don't know if I talked about it with you early in the week, but the punt, the bad bounce, which that happens. Like when you watch that thing and how that ball came down, and a lot of people I think out there don't get that how these guys kick the ball now. They kick it so it spins away. They kick it so it's sideways, over end, and that's what they get paid to do. It's unreal. So you take that out of the equation though. Like that Rider defense stepped up. I feel like they were stepping up, and then you think about how difficult it is to play a football game when you already got a kind of a patchwork offensive line, and then 2 more guys go down. Like, this is professional football against the likes of Willie Jefferson and that. And now you're scrambling to patch together an offensive line with one guy that plays defense. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really quite amazing. to see not only that Micah Johnson switched and played offense and just threw the jersey on. I talked to Corey today, and that has just been an emergency discussion. In other words, it's not like Micah in practice takes 4 or 5 reps with the O-line every single practice. He's not even over there. So that was kind of a get in the huddle. The guy beside you says, here's what you do on this play. And then we showed probably 4 or 5 ISOs. I didn't do the game, but I went back and watched it. And we showed 4 or 5 ISOs of Micah. And on all 4 of them, he was not only good, he was dominant. Like he blew open holes and really controlled defensive linemen for the Bombers. So it's really a testament to his ability and his strength. But this is a challenge because the secondary and the O-line are the 2 areas on the field that you have to be in sync. I always make the comparison to a 5-link chain. And those links are together. So if they all move to the right, they all have to move together. If they all move to the left, it's the same thing. If they go in opposite directions at the wrong time and that chain breaks, that's the hole that costs you the play. So that is a challenge. But again, when you look at the West and you look at how tight every game has been, this is exactly what Corey Mace wants. This is exactly what the team wants. Yes, we have yet another challenge to overcome. Yes, we have this skid that we have to overcome. And if you want to be champions, you better get up and go and get it done. And let's knock off a really good team, a hot team. Let's knock off a really good team to get our winning streak going, because then it'll be real. It'll be for real. You know, they want Zach Collaros to play. They want him to play.
Statement game, I feel, for the
Yeah.
Riders. Just like with Winnipeg, people were calling the statement game them coming in here on Labor Day and winning. Well, it's a big statement game for the Riders. You said you talked to Harris.
Yeah.
He's very mature. He's a veteran in the league, one of the older guys in the league. He seems that, you look at that last drive and how they're rushing 3 linemen and they have everybody back in coverage. And he methodically marched the whole field. Now, Rider fans, and we're bad, we are hard on our players. But you watch what he did there and how he did it with what he had to do. There wasn't a lot open when you put that many guys in the secondary. Is Trevor, when you talk to him, are you getting a sense, is he still calm? We got this under control? Or do you feel some urgency, maybe some panic there?
No panic for sure. He is that same calm guy. I do feel the urgency though, and that was to the comment of that enough talking about these close games that we're falling a little bit short on, or this one play or the one call by the command center that cost us a game. We're enough of those things, and he's very confidently and with a sense of urgency. Again, reading between the lines a little. He's approaching this game like you would imagine, as a pro, ready to go out and make the plays necessary to get over the top. And he realizes that this is a good team. It is hostile territory, but every game has come down to the wire. I used to walk off the field in games when you had a season like this, and I'd say to myself, that's a beatable team. Even if you lost, you could feel that we can beat this team, and they already have. The season series is on the line this weekend.
Yes, yeah, true. Okay, I'm going to close with this. I think it would be the ultimate flex, speaking of television, the ultimate flex if TSN makes Nathan Rourke do a halftime interview in Montreal.
You know what? Let's put it this way. That has all been talked about.
Okay.
Already. The next time that we request Nathan, he will be there and available and be very good. Nathan, as I mentioned earlier, is a great guy. I've talked to him many times, and he meant no harm by it. He didn't mean to make this whole thing about him either. That's the part that he hates the most. He wants to be about his team. But to answer your question, I'm not doing that game, but I would have, in our conference call, I have already suggested from my perspective, we go with somebody else to create some distance between Victoria and now, and just to ease back into he's going to be a big part of it moving forward. He understands the importance of it, and he will be there in the future.
Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. Actually, I got one more question, or one more. Yeah. You come to Saskatchewan, you do a lot of speaking events, dogs breakfast, all the, you've seen it. Tonight, starting in some of these small Saskatchewan towns, the 6-a-side football leagues, the 9-a-side football leagues, just, the heart of the prairies, where it just means so much. And I'm sure when you go and you talk to people from other places, you just say, Saskatchewan, football really means something in Saskatchewan.
Without question. I mean, the 6-man, the 9-man, the thing that I always say to the kids, first of all, I ask them a question. I say, what do you love most about football? And you know what most of them say? They say, I love to go and hit somebody. So, when we talk about the physicality of player safety, kids, we got to keep them safe, but they love it. They love running into each other. But I always say to them, the experience you're going to get playing football is going to build your character for the rest of your life. You will work with teammates as a kid that will be your friends when you're 70 years old. Yeah. And it's happened to me. Ask any retired football player, they'll have their best friends where those relationships were built on the football field.
All right, Suits. So what games are you doing this? What do you got? You got Winnipeg?
Yes, I have the Banjo Bowl. I'm tuning up my banjo as we speak, just to see how that
Jared's?
goes. No, I'm not going to. By the way, I thought you had Roxy on your T-shirt, not Roxette.
Roxette. Yeah, people that are watching on the stream are probably like, is he really wearing a Roxette T-shirt? It's my favorite band.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that the Roxy is where Jared is the lead singer in the band on the weekends, and a manager there too. So that was a bar that.
If I come for the Grey Cup, will I be able to watch them play?
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
The Grey Cup weekend, you go in there on Saturday night. He'll be the guy at the lead guitar and singing, and which is a weird flashback for me because I remember as a player going to the Roxy.
Hey, full circle, right? It's called full circle. Yeah. All right, Suits, travel safe. Looking forward to the game. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Barney. Take care.
Right on. That is press coverage with Glenn Suter for Quality Tire, 9 locations across Saskatchewan. We still have some time. People are texting in here, 936-6262. Pick the score. What is the score in Winnipeg Saturday? Oh, and it's a 1 p.m. kickoff on this very radio station, 620 CKRM. What is the score? 936-6262. We're going to award 2 tickets to the next Rider home game. When we come back, we're talking Swift Current Broncos, WHL, camping. It is the all-new Sportscage. If you're watching the stream at sportscage.com and the YouTube channel, or on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sportscage is brought to you by Busy Bee Doors. Busy Bee will repair or replace your residential or commercial garage doors so you don't get stuck in or out. Catch the buzz. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Every Sunday morning, wake up to country music legends on 620 CKRM. Sunday Morning Classics. Celebrate the legends that paved the way and define the heart and soul of country music. Relive the unforgettable classic hits and the legacy of country's greatest artists. Join us this Sunday and every Sunday as we honor the icons who brought country music to life. It's a journey through the rich history of country music. Sunday Morning Classics for Regina Funeral Home and Cemetery. Sundays at 8 a.m. on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
Hun, I'm starving. What do we have to eat?
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
I really don't feel like cooking today.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
I want lasagna.
I was thinking Caesar salad and garlic bread.
I had my heart set on chicken wings.
Avoid the annoyed.
Western pizza.
Avoid the annoyed with Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
Western pizza.
With persistence, hard work, and integrity, you've built a successful business. But what about the next step?
When we retire, our clients need to remain in good hands.
How do we pass the business to one child, be fair to the other kids, and not create a giant tax mess?
We can help you develop a smart and well-organized approach to tax, retirement, and business succession planning, so you can make decisions with confidence. Call me, Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, and take the first step. 546-2533.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
At McDougall Auctioneers, we're not just selling heavy equipment, we're powering progress. Hi, this is Riley McChesney. Our online auctions bring together the best machinery and the biggest network of buyers. Whether it's construction marvels or industrial giants, we sell with expertise and a commitment to value. Choose McDougall Auctioneers for auctions that move as fast as your business does. McDougall Auctioneers, 1-800-263-4193, or visit us at mcdougallauction.com.
It's back! Employee pricing at Capital GMC.
Do you have any idea what this means?
You pay what we pay.
Oh my!
We have 8 billion new and used vehicles. No, we don't. Well, we have lots of new and used vehicles, and they're all employee priced. If you need a vehicle, new or used, you pay what I pay.
Right now is the best time to buy.
It's employee pricing.
You pay what I pay.
Employee pricing at Capital GMC.
Back to the all-new Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Thanks to everyone who was texting in. I got to give Hot Take Perry in Regina Beach. He said, hey, Shank, proud alumni. Just want to give a shout out to my alma mater, the Wynyard Golden Bears. 9-man provincial champs, 2001. So there we go. Shout out to all the Wynyard Golden Bears from 2001. We love our small town football. We're getting into it tomorrow night. Big one in Indian Head between the Bronx and Broadview. They're opening up new McCall Field. We had Tim, the head coach, Tim Klein of the Bronx on earlier. Under the lights, and now they got irrigation on the field. It's going to be beautiful there in Indian Head. Let's go WHL camping. We've gone through Prince Albert. We went Moose Jaw. We're going down the road today. My old buddy from Swifty. I'm going to stand up for this one, Ryan Schweitzer. Schweitzy, how's it going there in Swift Current? Camp wrapped up. We're into exhibition season. The Broncos beat the Regina Pats last night. What's the vibe around town?
Yeah, the vibe around town, anytime the Broncos get a W over Regina, then things are generally positive here in Swift Current. But I loved you talking about the 9-man football action. Weren't you the voice of the Shaunavon Shadows once upon a time? Like, can we take it old school and reminisce about those days?
It was more the Gull Lake Greyhounds, because I think it was the great Fred Farnsworth who says they don't reload they don't rebuild, they reload in Gull Lake. And I didn't know what that meant until I got down there, and then I started calling these provincial games and all that. But that 9-man football, the SWAC, I was the voice of the SWAC conference or league. Schweitzer, it's something else when you see the fields lined with people watching high school football.
Oh, I love it. And you referenced Gull Lake, and I know it's the same in Shaunavon. They just pull their cars right up to the sideline, and they watch from their cars. And, maybe they got a little bottle of something in the car while they're watching. They bring the snacks. Some people tailgate. But but it's what you do, and I know that we're here to talk about WHL hockey, and the Swift Current Broncos have a similar feel to that, and yeah, there's a bit of a positive vibe around town with that preseason win over Regina tonight, and actually I'm here at the rink now, and we're just getting ready to roll with.
Well, Miles, the
Raiders
president and CEO of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Wade Miller, has come out making a statement in defense of his quarter.
We got somebody taking over our airwaves here. No, but yeah, so they're playing
Stand
again
by,
tonight.
Wade Miller. Stand down.
They're playing again tonight, the Broncos?
Yeah, they're hosting PA tonight in preseason action, and while we're booming into Swifty on the mighty 620, we'll throw the plug out there. Admission $5 or a donation to the Salvation Army Food Bank. We're getting ready here. We're going to be running pretty close to a full game production, and seeing the Swift Current Bronco players of today and some of tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about how camp's gone and the players that came in, and maybe let's start with some of the young guys. Maybe they're not going to be playing this year. Maybe they're going back to their U18 teams and all that. Who's really turned your head and raised your eyebrows a bit, Ryan?
You know who they're talking about in Swift Current right now, and for the first time, I believe in team history, the Swift Current Broncos, they bought local in the first round of the WHL prospects draft. Carter Moen is a local kid. He's the son of NHLer Travis Moen, who had a long and storied career in the NHL, including a Stanley Cup win in Anaheim. Trapper, as we call him in Swift Current, set up shop in Swift Current. He has his own little hockey program, and I shouldn't call it little, actually. I think darn near every minor hockey kid's a part of it. But, Travis has put down roots in Swift Current, and Travis was a hard-nosed, two-way guy, a big bottom six guy. His son Carter has been blessed with maybe a little bit more skill, but still has that small-town grit as well. And he's a 2009 that, won't play in the WHL this year, might see a game or two. But he really impressed, and he's someone that a lot of people feel can contribute at this level down the road.
Speaking of shopping local for the Broncos, I think he got into 3 games last year. I'm interested to see a former competitor of mine's son, Jeremy Rondeau's boy, Parker Rondeau. They're expecting big things for him in Swift as well, right?
Yeah, Parker had a pretty good season with the Swift Current Home Hardware Legionnaires of the 18U League. And again, very, very skilled. His father, JR, you remember playing against him. He was a big dude. He was tough to play against. Carter's got a great set of hands. And, he's someone that the Swift Current Broncos took with a second-round pick in last year's WHL prospect draft. And he's had a good preseason as well. And, he's a kid that's going to be expected to put the puck in the net down the road.
Goaltending for the Broncos this year. What are you expecting in net?
Well, Reed Dick is expected to come back. He's currently at the Utah rookie camp, but just where he is in his hockey career and with his goals, he's fully expected to be a member of the Swift Current Broncos. But, how long he stays a member of the Broncos, I guess we'll see. There's teams out there, you look at a team like Medicine Hat, who, quite frankly, everyone is ready to crown in this conference as the champions. But you could say that maybe they're a little bit weak in goal. So do they kick the tires on Reed Dick and perhaps make Chad Leslie an offer he can't refuse? Or does Reed stick around and be part of a team that, could make some noise in Swift Current this year? Reed's expected to be one of the top goalies in the league. I think the expectation right now is he's going to stay a Swift Current Bronco for the foreseeable future. But, come trade deadline, there may be a team in need of a goalie, and we'll see where the team's at then.
We talked about local flavor. One guy, would Ryan McCleary be back as a 20-year-old?
No, Ryan's 20-year-old season was last year. So
so he's gone. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned him, though, because, he's a guy. He wasn't the flashiest guy, but he was a big contributor to our team last year. And, he was a great behind-the-scenes guy. He wasn't afraid to mix it up, great leader. And the Broncos, segueing into this year's team, you referenced Reed Dick before. They're a team that's expected to be strong from the crease out. You got Reed Dick, you got potentially 19-year-old Joey Rocha backing him up, who's proven to be a capable goaltender who will be looking for some consistency in his game. But then you look at the blue line, and I know that Chad Leslie is really expecting big things out of his top 4D this year. You have newcomer Adam Krall coming in from the Czech Republic. Grayson Brzezinski, who's a veteran on this team. And I know big things are expected for the Broncos from the goal out, so to speak.
What about the vibe in town? Because I know, they got to sell tickets, right? And the community support's always great, especially sponsorship-wise, stuff like that. What's the vibe in town when it comes to that, Ryan? Is there a season ticket drive? Where are they sitting at with season tickets, stuff like that?
Well, the annual general meeting is coming up pretty quick here, and the Swift Current Broncos being a community-owned team, that's when you find out what the number was from last year, right? And, people look forward to finding that out every year, and quite frankly, for the past few years when the team has been rebuilding, the number hasn't been that good. There's been some down years, and I know last year with a first-round playoff win and 4 extra games of playoff revenue, I think that they're expected to be back in the black this year. So there's some optimism after that last year. In terms of ticket drives, I think those plans are going to be rolling out in the next little bit here as we get closer and closer to the season opener. And I think a lot of the fans right now, frankly, Barney, they're kind of taking a wait and see. Last year, the team, they made a big buy to bring in Connor Geekie. They parted with a bit of the future. So some fans are wondering, is it going to be another lengthy rebuild? And I don't think it is. I think that this is a team that, could make some noise.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll catch up a number of times as we get going here throughout the season. Always fun. If you do happen to make it to a SWAC 9-man game, make sure you shoot me some pictures or videos. I love it. Thanks so much, Sweitz, for coming on.
Always a pleasure, amigo.
Right on. Ryan Schweitzer out in Swift Current. They're playing again tonight against, like you said, Prince Albert. Regina Pats back in action as well at the Brandt Center. Still more to come. When we come back, we're going to hear from one Saskatchewan Roughrider who is very excited to finally get some game action this week in the rematch against the Bombers. You are listening on 620 CKRM, and hopefully you're streaming and watching along at thesportscage.com.
Meet your new favorite shade of green. At Nick Service, we offer the Fendt 500 Vario Series tractor that's tailor-made for your farm. Get better stability, ease of use, and comfort with one tractor. Whether you're feeding, tilling, baling, or hauling, this series is built for your farm. Experience up to 163 horsepower with this multi-purpose tractor. Visit Nick Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com to get a quote on the Fendt 500 Vario Series.
Be prepared for what Mother Nature throws at us because we never know what kind of wild weather is in store. Shorty Generators is authorized and trained to service all the major home standby generators, offering the largest selection of generators in Saskatchewan. Generac, Kohler, Champion, Cummins, and Briggs & Stratton. Now is the time to get your generator serviced and ready for the upcoming storm season. To book your service or to learn more about generator maintenance, visit shortygenerators.ca. The generator experts. Whether you're needing a part to fix up your trailer, an accessory to make your life easier while camping, or want someone to service or repair your RV for you, Affordable Trailer Sales is the place to go. We have it all covered, from a large selection of parts and accessories to service bays to get you fixed up quickly and out camping again. Book your appointment or stop in today. Affordable Trailer Sales. Price is in our name.
Stay connected with us any time of the day. Call or text us 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com on 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the all-new Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's watching that video stream, sportscage.com, and subscribing on the YouTube channel. Colson's trying to figure out what we can give for a prize to our subscribers, maybe tomorrow or maybe early next week. We are giving away the prize tomorrow for the Engelheim Charter trip to Minneapolis, September 22nd, to watch the Houston Texans and Minnesota Vikings. The code or the keyword today was Houston. Still a few minutes to get in on that, and then also still a few minutes to get in on SaskTel Pick the Score. If you want tickets to the next Rider home game, what is the score Wednesday What is the score Wednesday? What is the score Saturday in Winnipeg? Colson saying we have about 7 minutes left to get in on that. 936-6262. The Capital Ford Lincoln text line is where you want to text and let us know where you're from, your name, and your number. Very exciting for one Saskatchewan Roughrider coming up this week. We're going to do our Where Are They Now for Floor Coverings International, the Stars of Flooring. You can visit them at fclfloors.com today. We talked about them earlier in the show. It is so exciting. Former Saskatchewan Husky, Nick Weeb. He was drafted. The excitement, you could hear it in his voice. As Dave Thomas tells us here, he caught up with him today. He is jacked for the weekend.
Nick Weeb, this is not a dream. Yes, you are going to get an opportunity to make your professional debut in the Banjo Bowl this weekend. Coming off that knee injury, are you ready?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to roll. Obviously, I mean, it's a professional league, so I think going out anything less than 100% would be irresponsible of me for the team and honestly just for my personal health. So, yeah, feel awesome. Dan Farthing, he's got me and Jackson back up to 100%, and we're ready to roll now.
What's the process been like in trying to get back?
I mean, it's been a long road. I mean, 9 months it takes a toll on you mentally. Obviously, it's not an easy time. I've just had a really good support system to kind of lean on. My family's been awesome. My girlfriend's been really good as well. So, just kind of having that support system in my corners has really got me through it. But obviously, it's not fun. It's you kind of get to see everybody else living your dream for 9 months of your life, and you don't really get to participate much. But obviously, being back, being out to practice, I mean, I've had the most fun the last 2 weeks than I have in the last year. So it's been awesome.
What's the difference in preparation between, say, last year with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies to now here with the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
I mean, you're a professional now, right? Like, you don't worry about calm 211 anymore when you're on your day-to-day. So obviously, it's a lot more focused on football. It's your job now. You get paid for it. So it's an all-day thing. Like, you go home, it's you don't put your feet up. Like, you're on the iPads, you're watching tape, you're getting your body right, doing mobility. So yeah, it's a whole different beast, but it's been awesome. I mean, if you love football, you're gonna love being a professional football player.
So speaking of the Huskies, during your rehab, you and Jackson Ford, a University of Regina Ram alumnus, have become BFFs. And you know that the Huskies and Rams play this week, right? So how's that relationship?
I mean, you know, we jab at each other all the time. It's not just a Rams hate week thing that we go at each other for. But the one thing I will say, I never lost to the Rams. I let them know that every day. You know, I played them 7 times and they can never get it done. We actually had a joke up in Saskatoon. We called this place Griffith South. So I've never lost to him, and I make sure he knows that, and I'm sure it won't be any different this weekend.
Do you have a bet on the game?
Absolutely, 100%.
Like, who's going to wear a jersey?
Yeah, something like that. There's a little money on the line. There's a little pride. I had to wear a Bison's jersey today, just because we lost last week, obviously. But Jay Lynn, the Jordan Lennon, actually made me wear that one, and it hurt a little bit. The brown doesn't look quite as good as the green, so. But yeah, there's for sure some on the line this week.
Yeah, I love it. I've been so excited to see him suit up for the Riders since they drafted him. Right here on 620 CKRM, kickoff is at 1 p.m. I know a lot of people were confused, but when CTV took over, they switched it. So 1 p.m. kickoff. Luke and Dave are on at 12, and then at 10 a.m. on Saturday, Wes Cates and Justin Dunk start the Croft Electric countdown to kickoff, again on 620 CKRM. Miles Brown was, we said, with Glenn Suter, a little lighter in the pocketbook. At practice today, Dave Thomas also had a chance to talk to Miles Brown about the hit and everything that came along with that.
Well, Miles, the president and CEO of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Wade Miller, has come out making a statement in defense of his quarterback, questioning the hit on Zach Collaros last week. Have you heard the criticism?
I have. You know, if that's how he feels, it's very clear he doesn't know me. And I'm just going to have to leave it at that, to be honest.
This obviously is a point of conversation in protecting the quarterbacks, but for defensive linemen, how hard is it to try to stop when you're going at full speed and have just a split second to make a reactionary decision?
I mean, it's quite difficult when you run at full speed to stop on a dime. That's not something that's physically possible for a lot of men my size. It's not something that's possible for me. In situations like that, I mean, like, I don't know if there's any possibility that a 300-pound man is going to stop within 2 feet of a person running full speed.
That's exactly it. We've been talking about it. How does a big body like that stop? It's not a video game. It's kind of tough to do, but maybe that one's finally behind us, and we can leave it rest. Regardless, the Riders need to win. We're going to be touching on all that tomorrow on the Sports Cage, getting into the rematch, the Banjo Bowl in Winnipeg on Saturday. Derek Bidwell was with us earlier today. He's up in Saskatoon at the Synergy 8 event, huge fundraiser for the Children's Hospital up there. And golfing today, Bidsy had a chance to talk to Saskatoon's Kim Coates, and he brought his friend with him, William Fichtner.
All right, we are here at Willows with Kim Coates and William Fichtner. Boys, let's talk about your relationship first.
There is no relationship,
I've never
met
him
before in
my entire life. You guys are getting along really well.
We were forced to be together today.
He was
It's never going to happen again.
He was going to Kindersley, and he's never been there before. So I said, buddy, hop on. Let's go to a golf tournament.
Let's go to golf.
They told me I was going to Calgary. I don't understand.
You ended up in Saskatoon. So, Kim, you're from Saskatoon, of course. We see you more in Saskatoon now. You're beloved in Saskatoon. Thank you for being here for this again. Now, maybe just talk about how you talked William, Bill into coming here and joining you.
Well, it's been pretty easy because my mother, Joyce, who's still alive, living in Preston Park here, she loves him like a son. And so Billy's had the fortunate time after time seeing my mom and my father, who's gone now, in LA, time after time. Mom's been to their house countless times, him and his wife, Kimmy. So when this came up and the Synergy boys wanted to have me back, the first thing out of Troy's mouth was, can you get Bill Fichtner to come? And I went,
I think he said Bill Fitcherton. But yes, yeah, he did. Yeah.
Can you? And I said, if anyone can get him to come, it's me. And as luck would have it, he's about to go off and do a massive job over in London, England for 4.5 months. I'm going to Italy for 6 weeks to do a massive film. And this was completely perfect timing. And as soon as they announced him, we were sold out immediately. This thing's completely sold out. Troy and the boys, you guys know Kim. I mean, they do such an incredible, there's a 15th anniversary, raising so much money for the hospital and the kids and the MRI machines and the cancer early detection machine last year. It's a remarkable thing, isn't it?
Yep, my travel is definitely not as exciting as you guys. I'm on my way to Regina next week for the record.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I love Regina now. Back in the day.
Back in the day, there was a rivalry. So let's just turn back the clock really quick, Kim. You and I were talking a little bit before about old haunts in Saskatoon. If you could turn back the clock a little bit to when you were a younger Kim Coates and you're taking out William anywhere in Saskatoon, where are you going? Where are you taking him? What are
We're going to the townhouse. We're going to the Park Town. We're going to the Cab. We're going to the Pat. Maybe even Sutherland, the Windsor Hotel. I was having a beer there when I was 16 years old. Don't tell Mr. Totland that. No, Billy, come on. What did it feel like when you landed in Saskatoon and got picked up by the boys? I mean,
I told you, I looked around. I'm like, okay, if there were a few more tall buildings, I think I'm in Buffalo, and it's prairie.
Yeah.
The last 20 minutes from the plane window, I'm like, you're not getting lost out here, because one road goes that way and the other one goes that way. Follow the sun.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Last thoughts. This evening, of course, there's a big banquet, and just your thoughts on the rest of the evening and how the community has been so far with you guys here. Obviously, everybody is real happy to see you and meet you guys.
You can't make this up. Billy knows. I've done a couple of charities with Billy in Buffalo, and they're the same kind of hardworking people, and they give back. And whether it's been a rough year for some or a great year for some, or they always give back. Charities are the number one thing in Saskatchewan. It has been forever. And to see this thing grow and grow and grow the way it has, and the amount of money and incredible tax rebates and deductions from giving the way they do here, all the men and women that give so much, it's just great to come home. Selfishly, I get to see my mother, and then we sign a few autographs. Fichtner and I met on Black Hawk Down, right, 2001. And just tell that story how we met, if you don't mind.
No, I remember we were training. We were on set in Morocco, and I'd been there for a week. And Kim showed up, and one of the assistants came over and said, "Listen, new guy and new Delta guys with you." Kim said, "Hey man, Kim Coates, how you doing?" I said, "Good man. Where you from?" "Saskatoon." He goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Buffalo." He said, "Go Sabres." I'm like, I like this guy.
We've been attached at the hip ever since.
I love how that finishes. That's a cool story. Black Hawk Down's an amazing movie, by the way. Everybody who watched on not only our YouTube channel, but also on X. I forgot we were on X today. Thanks so much for doing that. Obviously, everyone that's listening on the radio, thanks so much as well. Busy show tomorrow. We're getting ready for the Banjo Bowl. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube even if you're not going to watch it. Just get everybody in your household to do it because it's going to up your odds of winning when we get going. Colson's got picked the score. He's going to email the winner momentarily. And tomorrow we're giving away the grand prize in the Engelheim tour down to Minnesota to watch the Vikings and the Houston Texans. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you again.